What's up, everybody? It's out of nowhere time. A little bit late. Sorry about that. I was doing a interview with the guy you're listening to now. He covers tons of wrestling themes, tons of rock themes. He's a great guy, great musician. I love this guy. We finally got to speak earlier. Not long enough, though. Unfortunately, I had to cut it short because we were running so late into this show here. But I'll have the interview with him up later. But you got to check him out on YouTube, Zombie13. I'm going to promote the shit out of him this week. What's up, everybody? Because the guy is so cool, man. So many people just use his shit, and they don't even credit the goddamn guy. There's a link to his video in the chat, but I'll be doing it later on as well. So, good guy, cool dude. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? It's a big wrestling week, a big wrestling night, and it's humid as hell where I am. I don't know what's up, but the basement here is yikes right now. Hope everybody's doing well. Jake's alive, somewhat, and people asked about him, and yeah, he's alive, barely. So that's good news. Dude, a lot of news today and yesterday. This couldn't have been any better for us as far as being able to sustain content for about an hour or so.
Yeah, a lot of news, a lot of stuff, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time because not only is Jake in a shit ton of pain, I did not want to miss this show. I have missed you all dearly. It's been a rough week, but just to be here, I am incredibly high because I couldn't stop vomiting. So I got some bags of vomit over here. I'm good to go. Out of nowhere. Championships there. We're doing good.
So he may threaten several of you during the stream. Just don't.
That's right, you dirtbags. Let's do this.
He doesn't mean it, probably.
Yeah, just out of my mind. Haven't slept, and I don't even know how long at this point.
No,
I'm excited to be here, though, because my goodness, my gracious, I wasn't even crazy about Dynamite last night, personally. I watched it a couple hours ago, and it was decent. It had some good moments, but I don't want to say it felt rushed, but it felt very like an afterthought in a sense. Like they just, so long as they can get everyone on the screen, that was their goal. Now, some people were surprised that Punk was working with Taz. It did feel a little out of nowhere, but he already said he wanted to work with, Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, and Rey Fenix. So there we go. That'll be 2 and 3 right there.
Right.
So that's 2 and 3 out of 5.
Yep. So he wants Hobbs next.
Yeah, and it seems like that's exactly what they're doing with. And yeah, Dirtbag Army, you guys are awesome. That's why we love this chat. But for them to go ahead and, Raw brought in a 3-hour overnight of 1.85 with a 0.52 in the demo. AEW had a 0.53 demographic rating. So they beat Raw, even though they only had a 1.3 million overall. Their segment at the end there with Brian and Adam Cole and the Elite got 1.5 million viewers concurrently.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy spike.
That is absolutely crazy. And for them to get that 0.53 in the 18 to 49 was massive.
Dude,
I mean, I was blown away with that rating, and I kept joking to you. I said, watch, they'll get their 1.5. They did. It wasn't their overall, but for that segment, they did.
Right.
And I kept jokingly saying, like, oh, they'll get 200,000 buys for All Out. And apparently, it's going to be like 220, 250, somewhere around there.
Right.
It's the most bought pay-per-view. So, lo and behold, we were close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was just writing down the numbers. What did you just say is the number?
We don't have an exact, but predictions
okay.
for what they've gone off by their analysis is about 220 right now.
220.
Yeah,
Damn,
which is
son.
great.
That's crazy because I was like hoping for because they were at 130. I was hoping for 165. If they did over 200 buys, that's really good. Like 200 over 200 pay-per-view buys. Does that count fight and everything, or do you know, or if that? I've been asking everybody that. I'm like, does that count any pay-per-view buy, or does that only count cable pay-per-view buys?
I think it counts all buys.
I would think
it was the most watched AEW pay-per-view ever, and Revolution had 135,000 buys. So he's saying that with this being the most watched, and last year All Out did 90,000 buys.
Yeah, I thought since the record or something was like 135, I was like, all right, if it's 135, I think this is going to do like 150, 160. And that's what I thought. I hoped. Like for CM Punk, I would hope. And the potential of Daniel Bryan, I would hope that it would do pretty well. So
yeah, they're basically saying it's going to break all records for AEW. And it was more than any non-WWE pay-per-view in 22 years and 4 months.
Yeah.
That's how much of a record it broke. So basically, since WCW was in business.
That's crazy. That is so crazy.
How long, so nothing but WWE has been in that top slot since then.
200,000 buys.
Yeah.
What's the I don't know what the profit is on that, but I'm pretty sure
that would be gross about $10 million roughly.
That's
for 200,000.
That makes what is that? I mean, 50 times 200,000 is 10 million, but they probably didn't make that much. They probably had to give away.
Well, that's why I said gross.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they made about maybe 6-7 million after they have to pay the bill, the 30% or whatever the charge is.
Yeah, because Revolution made them 6.8 million at 135,000.
So, in other words, that one
That's gross, though. I don't know how much they took home, but that was gross.
So, to put it on perspective of the roster, that pay-per-view paid for Jon Moxley's contract. Like, that pay-per-view paid for Jon Moxley's entire contract. If you want to look at it.
No doubt. And Jon Moxley and then some. Somebody's original prediction from their estimations was 163,000 buys, but since then it's been expected to blow that number a bit out of the water and hit a little over 200,000. Pretty interesting to see how people are forecasting the buy rate and predicting all these sort of interesting stats. So.
Yeah, that's super interesting because that was a big thing. In fact, I put out a poll. I don't remember what the numbers on it were, but it was like people were like, we were saying like, what will you be the most encouraged by with CM Punk doing? And it turned out to be kind of T-shirts. T-shirts, he crushed it. Pay-per-view buys, they crushed it. But ratings is the surprising thing that's not really like, so that's good. The good news is he's generating a shit ton of revenue. But the one thing that's a little bit like, is the ratings up until now, which, now we can sort of like, this is more like it. Like, and we knew this was going to happen because night after their biggest pay-per-view, the debut of Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Adam Cole, all showing up on that Dynamite, you would expect them to do the best number they've ever done probably. And they did the second best. So, but the highest segment ever. So that's good. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming together a little bit. This is very interesting to me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And NXT was down 116,000 viewers, Joe. They're at 601,000 for Tuesday night.
That's nuts.
They got a 0.14 in the demo.
Oops.
So AEW is beating Raw, but NXT is basically a quarter of what the other guys got. I mean, that's just bad. That's one of the lowest ratings they've had in weeks too, because they had 717, 685, and 751. So 601 is bad.
I will challenge you to a fight at Wendy's.
Unless you count sci-fi.
Yeah.
I don't.
Go ahead.
Feed you
I
sci-fi.
swear to God, feed me no more. I will challenge you to a fight at Wendy's. Do you want to have a fight with me at Wendy's?
Jim Cornette will definitely be at Wendy's.
Fuck Jim
that would be an
Cornette.
interesting fight.
I'll kill Jim Cornette.
He might choke you with a Baconator.
I will cut Jim Cornette into a penis.
I don't know. My money's on Cornette killing you with a Baconator. I could see that happening. Maybe some spicy nuggets up your asshole.
Jim Cornette loves cock. That's what I'll say right now. I swear to God.
Really? I thought it was you.
No, I finish Jim.
I got
Finish
it.
Jim.
We're talking about
The
Slim Jims.
The hell's wrong with you, right turd?
Finish
I don't know.
Jim.
That's all he says ever.
Finish Jim.
Double cheese, double onion. That's
Where
right.
were you when I needed you the most?
That's what I didn't get.
Did you like that from fucking Bullfrog yesterday?
When I needed you the most.
I needed you the most?
Because you're supposed to be watching anyone that ever talks about him and come to his aid.
I'm glad you saw that. I can't wait. I've been working on a song about it. Like, where were you? Where
that
were
Star
you?
Trek thing with Skunty was hilarious, and then even better, I died laughing. Oh, something like the one when you had the bag over your head. That skit.
Oh,
killed me.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a few of those
I
breakdown
snapped.
moments.
I had to make those videos because people, I guess I sold the deal too much. People thought I was about to go out
People
to the
thought
pasture.
you were ready for a padded room, padded wall room. And
Yeah.
I can't say I blame them or you because I did not watch a lick of Raw.
Oh, thank
I
God.
saw a
you
little bit
didn't.
of your review and I was like, oh, wow. Joe's
Yeah.
in pain. I'm sorry I'm not there, but
There was no
I'm
reason.
not going to hurt myself.
It would have been a waste of your time because there legit was nothing really to talk about. There just was nothing to talk about. And when there's nothing to talk about, it's humid down here and I'm tired already. It's just there's nothing to do. Like there's nothing to say. Like we probably the only thing that would have helped if Jake had been here would have been that we would have trailed off talking about other things that aren't wrestling. So that would have been good. But as far as wrestling, it would have been spinning around in the same circle. They really gave us nothing to talk about. So, and then AEW was just so good that night before. So it made the contrast made it that much worse. I still want to get like my reactions from both nights and compare them, like AEW, WWE, AEW, WWE, and like see what I look like. And so, yeah, I had a little bit of hangover from AEW being so good, but and I don't know, but it was fun. And then last night too, doing AEW by myself, I was fine. I was 20 minutes in, and then all of a sudden Boltard called and he was freaking out about something that had nothing to do with me. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what he was talking about, but apparently he was bragging that he worked me today. So apparently it was a work, but everything's a work. Everything's a work. I blocked him, by the way.
Well, speaking of the work, I mean, Bailey did say the new Corrupted is you, him, and Bullfrog.
You want
to get him excited.
you
So
want-
I mean, that's
You want to see something hilarious?
an announcement.
You want to see something really funny?
Oh, of course.
So after Bailey tweeted out like, "Oh, the new Corrupted is me and Bullfrog and everything," Bullfrog's response is in my DMs is this, and it's the funniest thing he writes. Is it true, broski? Am I back? He goes, "Am I back?"
But he's literally
This is in my
screen
DMs.
tapping the troll face that JB puts in the comments.
Look, I know he's an idiot. He wrote, "Is it true, broski? Am I back?
Am I back?" But he has the screenshot, including the troll face with the smile that JB attached to that tweet. So
Oh,
he
God.
knows it's a troll. He knows it's fake, but he's holding on to hope.
Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
And this is why WWE is failing, because people like this are watching.
I told JB, let's add him as the third guy and call him the retard.
And when I say like this, I do mean retards. Yes.
Yes, and we'll get everybody
Absolutely.
upset. Boltard.
Yeah.
We're here with the Boltard, everybody. Like, oh man.
No, so good.
But it's listen, so okay, so what happened when you heard we haven't really talked at all. So what did you think when you heard the Triple H stuff and then you watched, people make memes, people thought it was COVID or the vaccine and all these different things were shooting out everywhere.
I mean, I'm
Vince
all
did
for
it.
a good joke. There was one that somebody said before where you saw Adam Cole come out and then once he yells boom, you see Triple H, it was a clip where he grabs his chest.
Oh.
And so basically he was debuting for AEW and he's like, oh no, and he lost Adam Cole. But at the end of it, it's like, get well soon, Hunter.
Tommy
Tommy
NC tweeted out he's got a B+ heart.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
Attention-seeking and heartless. But this person put, get well soon at the end of it, and he got attacked unmercilessly until it was taken down on Twitter. So people that had like good intentions, using humor to deal with the situation, were getting attacked, but the people that were actually malicious seemed to stay up. I don't get it. Because the virtue signaling can't tell the difference between humor and trolling, basically.
Right.
They just go after everyone.
I did pick the Bucks to win.
It's the truth.
For Michael, who was wondering what was going on, I did pick the Bucks to win, just for the football people out there that are wondering.
And I've stayed overnight many nights at Yale. I mean, it's not all but 25 minutes away from me. So hearing that Triple H was at Yale after a cardiac event, it was a genetic heart issue, and he's expected to make a full recovery. We hear he's doing well. He needs this so his heart can operate at 100% again. And he's got a lot of responsibilities to take part in behind the scenes, and it's been stressful, so that we don't know if that added to it or other issues just being genetics. But it was a genetic heart issue, so
right. So
he's
like
52, it is not totally uncommon, but thankfully he's okay. Yale is amazing with heart issues. They have their whole cardiac unit, so thankfully he was there for that. I don't mind people using jokes to heal, but those just being outright malicious with this,
yeah, like I'm down.
He said, "Suck it."
I'm down for some jokes too, but like Dingleberry is just looking for clout. But it's so a lot of people thought, oh, it's the vaccine, it made his heart have a, and I thought that too, like, oh shit, is that what it is? Like, because he never had problems. But then this is, like you said, a genetic thing. So like, I guess
they outright said it was some genetic issue that he had. So it was lingering. We just don't know.
Right. Like how long did he have this? I'm
sure we'll hear more details soon. I wish we knew more, but it could be a steroid issue.
Yeah. Well, but not if it's genetic, right?
It could be something that genetics had an issue with steroids. That's usually what happens often. Steroids interact with your body poorly and cause issues where you wouldn't have had a problem before.
Right.
Even prescribed steroids can do that to you. That's why I blew up in weight so fast.
That's crazy.
That's because it causes retention. I mean, people respond differently, but there are issues that it can cause, especially to your heart.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's
so it could be a cover up. People send you. I mean, you don't know nowadays. Anything's possible.
It's a cover up.
To me, it sounds legitimate though. It sounds like he had some genetic issue. Hopefully, we hear more and he continues to heal up. I wouldn't want to see anything happen to Triple H, but it sounds like Vince is not leaving the company as we thought to Triple H or Stephanie or Shane. Shane's already got himself, set up in other companies like Ideanomics and whatnot.
Jesus.
And Stephanie, it just seems like they're either A, ready to sell, or B, it'll get put onto like a board of executives that will take care of things until they do sell.
Why wouldn't the kids
Nick
be taking
Khan
over?
Would take over until they sold it, like something like that. If Vince died suddenly, it wasn't. If it was a tragic accident, his plane crash, God forbid, tomorrow, and there was a terrible accident. Oh no, I think Nick Khan would be in writing the one to take over, not any of his family. I think Vince already has that set up, and it'd be Khan, Pritchard, the people remaining. Laurinaitis. Why couldn't Laurinaitis be the pilot crash? Never mind. But seriously, I think it would be a sudden change of power, and then Khan would be already pre-advised to, if anything happens to me, you sell. I think this was already discussed because that's the way they set up the company. And it's very odd as to why he would push Triple H out of NXT the way he did without opening spots on the main roster for him. He's kind of just in limbo at this point, it feels like.
Right.
They ruined his baby. Adam Cole was just trained for 4 years to debut on AEW. When you think about it, and he was the biggest star and many reasons for many people to, the reason for many people to tune in to NXT.
Yep.
Now that he's not there, immediately they're down almost 150,000 viewers, and the segment with him is at 1.5 million. I know Brian's in there as well, but I'm saying he certainly has intrigue too.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm sure
Adam
he's got
Cole
his
is a huge get. There's so many contracts that are in turmoil right now. You have people under serious heat because not just Mick Foley either, but you have people under serious heat behind the scenes because, hey, spoiler, look at that. They don't know who is doing what and whose contract is where. And there's so many things that are messed up because what happened was they had to restructure several contracts when they went into the pandemic because they weren't on the road. And thank you, Mustafa. And so many great calls you had this week,
Yeah, pretty good
Jennifer
calls.
called it before, Mustafa, so many people, so I'm glad people were so willing to help out. That was great. It's nice to have the fans call in too. But honestly, they let go of the person that handles contracts. And then, Aleister Black, Malachi is able to debut immediately. Kevin Owens' contract, they weren't aware of. They say they were, but they had no idea that was restructured a year early. He re-signed for 5 years in 2018. Pandemic hit, they restructured everybody. He's getting out a year and 3 months earlier. They didn't even realize it. So he can honestly debut the next night if he wants to, and Mount Rushmore is back like that. I mean, these things are possible. And apparently they say the quote is falling asleep at the wheel. I mean, these are the things that I'm hearing. Fightful originally said that there's so much heat for those falling asleep at the wheel and with the contract situations. With the details and planning of NXT contracts, those were handled incorrectly. Nothing's been handled accordingly. We've been told this isn't as much of an issue with the main roster. It's more with NXT side of things.
Right, because they barely cared anyway about them, probably.
Yeah, but it's totally believable.
Oh, yeah.
And you think about who AEW still has to debut. I mean, we still have Bray Wyatt to come and Buddy Murphy. I mean, there are a few other surprises in store for the female side of things, so we'll see what happens. And right now, as your poll goes, I'm most excited for Brian. I'm intrigued by what he's going to do on AEW TV, how he's going to wrestle, how is his style going to be different, because he did say WWE limited him as to what he could do. They felt unsafe with his issues and his neck, so they didn't want him to do certain moves, and they told him to hold back.
Yep.
I believe that.
Where were you when I needed you? I'm sorry. I gotta keep throwing that out there.
You have to. So, I mean, WWE wanted Adam Cole to allegedly manage Keith Lee, heel Keith Lee.
That is the funniest thing. We knew about the manager thing, but not Keith Lee. That is too funny.
A heel Keith Lee. Greetings and salutations, bitches. And then Adam Cole would come up and be like, baby.
Let me tell you, baby.
How would he be a heel manager for Keith Lee?
Oh my God, it's too funny, dude. What was he gonna do?
I mean, I'm high, but I cannot fathom this. This does not work for me at all.
I said, he kind of looks like Harvey Whippleman if you cut his hair.
I guess. I mean, AEW is already doing a hair versus hair match. We'll get into that after we hear from the donators in a minute. But
yeah, holy
Christ! I mean, what are they doing here? They were gonna. That's how they convinced him to stay in the WWE. I mean, Vince is saying, I got a great idea for you. We're gonna make you a top heel manager. And he's like, yeah, wait, what?
Yeah, you're gonna manage Keith Lee since he can't talk.
He's like, top heel, yeah, manager. What? Remember the money. And he's like, yeah, the money's really good. I know the money's good, but I'm heel manager to Keith Lee.
Oh God.
And then he literally went back and he texted the Young Bucks and he's like, what was Tony's cell number? And that's how that conversation ended, I guarantee.
I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm Eggman.
Yeah.
I'm Eggman.
Literally, I'm Eggman.
I really am
Taker
Eggman.
was worried about it. No, I am.
Yeah, Taker was worried about it, and he was like one of the 10% that didn't get into that.
Yeah.
But I'm in there. I'm one of the 90%. I'm fucking
You think
Eggman.
Vince is senile and stuck into like the year 95?
Yeah, it's or 90 or something. Like he's like his 1988 or something. Like it just pops out of him
constantly.
Holy shit, bro. That is that. I mean,
People
listen.
walk by him. He's like, "Hey, Hulk!" Like,
yeah,
you're just seeing old wrestlers.
I just don't believe. Here's the thing. I think in Vince's mind, this is just me speculating. I think in Vince's mind, he thought he gave this a try. In my opinion, like he gave the small guy thing a try. And other than a star that already came in like AJ Styles, and AJ Styles is even bigger than a lot of these guys, right? He's bigger than Adam Cole and shit like that. So, like, I think he saw that and was like, all right, they weren't the greatest, but AJ was really cool, really good, but he's no Hogan or anything. He'll never be that, but he's really good enough to be where he is.
Yeah.
But he tried the 205 Live thing.
Yeah,
and he tried.
He needed you the most.
I gotta pull the clip again because it's just too funny when I gotta find it. Joe, where are you when I needed you the most?
It says Freeze McFrost. Yeah,
dude, like that's a T-shirt. I might start selling that.
That has to happen.
Bullfrog's gonna want
these nuts.
Bullfrog's gonna want a piece of that when I start selling the frog T-shirt.
Since we mentioned it, I have to say this too. The funny part is, Seth did not donate for Bullfrog.
No, you kind of interjected and like
I just threw that in there to be funny and bring him back. Like I was the one being like, oh, and if anyone donated X amount, then Bullfrog's unbanned. Like Seth certainly didn't do that for Bullfrog. I threw that in there just to be dramatic and make it like oh my God, like the infamous legend himself went ahead and did. Oh, it's crazy. Look what Seth accomplished. No way. And like it was just supposed to be but. It's all a work anyway. So it is, but the point is, Bullfrog saying that, "Oh, I made you all this," has no merit at all whatsoever, and it just cracks me up.
Yeah, it was funny.
He did nothing to earn anyone any funding. All he's done is cost us more than anything in lawyer fees, and
he's working everybody. That's all it is.
He is, and
he just fucks with everybody.
You're just a terrible person. You know that you couldn't even be there for him when he needed you the most. What that is, I'm still unsure of, but he needed you, Joe, and you friggin' weren't there.
I'm mad that I wasn't there for him when he needed me most.
I know.
Which I couldn't figure out what he was saying. Like
Furry Balls is right. I mean, he expected to be defended when he does stupid shit. I agree, but Joe should have been there for him.
Yeah, like, and the funny thing is, like, how many times, like, I don't know, like a year ago, and 6 months ago, and 3 months ago. I had heard him talking with people just shitting on me, and he never defended me. But even if he did defend me, he would just make me look bad. So I wouldn't want him to defend me anyway. But it was just funny that, like, he gets in shit with somebody.
His idea of defending you is saying, well, we're trying to work stuff out.
Yeah, he makes no, like, and then when we didn't even have a problem, he said that. It's like, well, what do you mean we're working something out? I'm not even mad at you. Yeah, the metrics here, I don't know, Brandon Thurston, man. He fucking tweets some good comparisons and charts and breakdowns. Does a great job on Twitter. I don't know how he goes into all this stuff. I went through Google Analytics myself earlier, and I was not able to find out a whole bunch of stuff myself, but I did find out this, and that is that in the last 100 days, that's the interest in AEW via Google. Look at that spike at the end there. So it's like you're getting kind of what you want. So there's the pay-per-view. And then there's obviously the other night on Dynamite and the whole week. That's the whole week. And then back in August I think that was CM Punk's debut. I believe. I think that's it. I think it's CM Punk's debut, and then,
that was on Rampage.
Right. So there you go. You can see the interest, the explosion that happened on the internet when CM Punk was there. And then on Wednesday when CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and Adam Cole were all there. It exceeded CM Punk's return. So that's crazy. Actually, it's not. That isn't actually. That's Rampage. So that's Friday Night Rampage. CM Punk coming back to the wrestling, first time ever. Basically, everybody heard that's probably what's happening.
Yeah. Then his follow-up promo was still a spike. And then the weeks after was kind of like okay, and then the pay-per-view.
Right. So look,
because a lot of people said, all right, I don't want to hear him talk anymore after that. I just want to see him fight. And then that night they were like, all right, I'm going to stick around now that I rented it. I'm going to watch the whole thing. and they started to get back into wrestling, and that shows by that 1.5 million number.
Damn, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's only going to get bigger from there. I'm telling you, they're growers, not showers. Let them impress. They're only at half mast right now. They're going to keep growing, baby. All joking aside, though,
I love when you say keep growing.
Actually, you know what? Let's keep with the funny for a minute. CM Punk tweeted out, "It's time to address this," and he's addressing about a fan months and months back saying that he would eat his shoes live on Twitter if Punk ever returned, because he said Punk is not returning. Stop saying this. I'll eat my shoes live if he does this. Hashtag Money in the Bank.
That's
so
funny.
somebody said a minute before Punk's return, hey, Punk, please come back just for like a second. So this goober will have to eat his shoes. That's the guy's name on Twitter. This is Goober. He said, I feel like you'd get a kick out of that. Fans get to see you, and we get to watch him eat shoes. Win-win. So Punk said it's time to address this, and the guy said, I swear to God, Buddha, and run the jewels, I will eat my shoes. So apparently he's going to do it. He's going to air it live on Twitter.
He's going to either get sick or die and then sue CM Punk if he's smart. So CM Punk should quickly put out a tweet that says...
Maybe he should cover them
in
some type of substance and deep fry them.
He should just
and
drink.
Just eat the outside.
You should drink alcohol out of him and cheers Punk when he does
do a
it.
shoey. There you go.
Yes, do a shoey, and that will make Punk angry. He'll be like, oh, like, you think I drink?
Funeral for NXT drops tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the podcast with Super Sexy Jake and myself. # cheap plug.
Oh, baby, that's Spaz Phoenix. Funeral for NXT drops tomorrow at 10 a.m. Jesus.
Yeah, he's bringing it out early, letting everybody check it out throughout the day. Some people don't have work tomorrow.
I'll be listening to
they can
that.
look forward to it later. It's interesting because
How does it feel to be a loser, Spaz?
That's his point. He's like, damn, Spaz is all elite at this point. And we're interested to see what happens next week with NXT and their Sesame Street color change. But it's more of like a pessimistic...
Yeah.
Knowing
it's
that
like
the death is approaching.
It's like when WCW changed the Nitro logo and everything changed to red ropes, and like they tried to, and it was just like sad to watch it for some reason.
Yeah.
And you were watching
Raw's
it.
done it too when they go to the dark third hour, and yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude, I watched WCW Nitro, and it was hard to watch in that time, but I was watching it to laugh. I would tape it and then click over to see it. And I remember saying out loud to my friends and I, we're all laughing. We were watching it laughing. Like, we couldn't believe this was the same company that like 3 years ago we were like got a lot of people into wrestling.
Yeah.
And we were like, dude.
Now it's a joke.
But we all said
totally the demise of the entire company.
I don't know if I'm the one who said it first or everybody said it and like I just went along with it, or we all just kind of were like, yeah, that's what it is. But we were all kind of focused on like, dude, because we all marked out, we all, there was a big thing when Vince Russo left the WWE, and we were like, oh my God, is WWE going to get terrible now? They lost Russo. He's the one who's been writing all these Raws with Vince and everybody. And we knew that at the time.
Come to find out, like, he was writing things, but it was one of every 30 ideas, and it had to go through like a Cornet filtered process
down
to become good. Yeah.
But so we
he
know
would go
that.
so wild with it once they shaped, his clay pot back into the ashtray they asked for, then it worked.
Yeah, it was kind of like I don't know how to, I guess I don't know how to explain it, but it's sort of one of these things where it's like, yeah, it's basically like Russo would be like, I got an idea. A guy's on the beach and he gets drunk and then gets in a fight with someone, challenges him to a match on Raw, and then this guy comes to Raw and has to wrestle the guy later that night, but it will hire a local guy and it'll be like a fan, and then Vince will be like,
and come to find out, it's actually an old cousin that he didn't recognize because he hasn't seen him in years, and
right.
They find out that they're family, and he's after the gold, and that's when Vince Russo isms kick in at that point,
right? And we'll have a sand
like
match in the ring.
Vince McMahon would give Russo a ball of clay and say, "Make me an ashtray," and then Russo would hand him a teapot, and it'd be a good-looking teapot, but it's not what he asked for, and that was the problem.
But so, listen, I loved Russo because that combination of him and Vince and everybody, for some reason, that filtering process was magical. For whatever reason, they made magic. They were like the Beatles or something.
Yeah, we got some of the best angles ever. That's why people love the Attitude Era, because not only were they doing these crazy, in one night they would do 3 angles that used to be like take months to see happen. But we would see these things happen in one night. Not only would you see a woman get put through a table, that would be a once a month, if ever thing, that kind of idea back, especially even a few years back. Now, it might not even happen to that point. But now that's happening on top of a beer truck, on top of backstage attacks, on top of people getting thrown off of stages, et cetera, et cetera. So they were doing so many wild things and so many angles that it was hard not to feel overwhelmed in a good way. Like you were just totally entertained.
To explain to the younger kids, there was a doubt that, oh my God, this is going to ruin WWF. This guy leaving is a major guy. Like people treated.
Oh yeah, because everyone said he was the guy. He was the
right.
responsible.
He was
one.
getting massive credit. And what happened is we said this out loud one night when we were watching. We would watch WCW taped because we wouldn't flip over really from Raw too much. So we'd watch it later to laugh at it basically. We were convinced. Then we went, fucking, this guy got sent there to ruin the company. Like, he got sent there to fucking... We were like convinced, like, this is the funniest shit ever. This guy's definitely writing this shit into shit. Like, he got sent there by Vince. Like, oh my God, like this has got to be what it is. And we were convinced
of Jeff
it.
Jarrett, that's why, it wasn't really Jarrett screwing Vince. It was Vince setting it up so Jarrett looked like he screwed him over with the title. But really, that wasn't the case when he dropped it to China in that, everything but the kitchen sink match. And that's why he paid him $200,000 because he sent him to WCW to screw them over. I've heard the rumor 1,000 times, and maybe it has some credence. All that money.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, maybe.
Jarrett and Russo walked out with a ton of money.
I'm telling you,
Would Vince really have paid that? Couldn't he have not just stripped Jarrett of the title and moved on?
Oh, dude, it's so weird. It's so weird. He could have
just stripped Jarrett of the title, taken it away from him in the locker room, and not worried about him showing up on another show with it. I don't get why it was such a big deal at that point, but
yeah, I don't.
So why pay his ransom basically of over $200,000? Was it 200 or 400?
Was it what?
That Jeff Jarrett charged Vince for that match, the IC title match, to drop the belt to China.
It was a
charged
lot.
Vince. I think it was 400,000 actually.
Oh,
I'd have to go back. It was either 200 or 400.
I don't remember. I just remember it was in the hundreds of thousands. I thought it was.
Yeah, it was a crap ton of money because that's why.
I'm going to make you mad because I thought it was 300,000. So I'm all.
All right, so it's somewhere in that ballpark because Cornette always makes a joke that was the X $100,000 match. So however much it was, still shit ton of money. And I was always baffled. Like after he didn't even really do that with the Warrior. He agreed to pay him and then shit him over. He shit canned him basically.
Right.
So why would Vince agree to pay Jeff Jarrett, a mid-carder, with the IC title? Like, that wasn't the championship. He didn't really care, and I don't know. It just kind of seemed odd to me. So when he and Russo showed up in WCW and all that shit went down and it looked so bad, I was like, oh, he did send them there to destroy them. It seemed like it had some water, some credence.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, and now I get it. Vince's ideas were wacky. By the way, dude, this game's getting really close with the Cowboys and the Bucks.
Is it? Yeah, Viagra on a pole match. Jesse's on hold as well. So
we got a whole crew here. This is 20. It's 26-28 right now. 14 minutes left, guys. Holy shit, this game is wild. First game of the season. So
damn, that's nuts. And you want what? The Buccaneers to win? You said?
Well, I picked the Bucks to win because I was like, listen,
I did as well, but.
I mean, good for Cowboys fans right now. This is good news for the Cowboys fans. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that it's close with the Cowboys and the champions, like the Cowboys fans have to be happy. Even if they lose this game, the Cowboys fans have to be like, fuck, we're real. Like, holy shit. Shit bomb. Speaking of shit, is shit bum.
You become
Danielle Mendez.
A shit bum.
Tony Khan is a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. Oh, he's an ass guy. I get it. Okay. Well, he's
he's
probably
an ass guy. Well, that's why he hired certain women then, huh?
I'm betting.
That's why Anna Jay's staying around.
And
that's why he wants to do a Viagra on a pole match backstage in his office.
Well, he's probably sniffing around for her.
Maybe.
Who was that? King something? No, that was Daniel Mendez. Thank you, Daniel. What's up?
You become a shit bomb.
Drop in your questions right now.
Tommy is a putz.
Tommy is a putz, yes.
You know who else is a putz? Oh, my God. Karrion Kross.
Oh,
you covering that promo? Because I knew as soon as I saw that and I tuned into Raw the next day for that clip, the review, and I went back and I was like, as soon as you started talking about it, I'm like, all right, let me find the clip. I went to YouTube, I watched it, and I'm like, wow, that was awful. But it was so awful, it was amazing at the same time.
I'm going to eliminate you from existence. Like, it
That's
was
a lot of good
like
suggestions. It reminded
and I'm gonna
me
do
of
all
the
of them.
failed Lars Sullivan promo.
That's what I said on the review. I brought that up. I played him on the review. I played it. I was like,
so as soon as you brought it up, I was like, that's exactly what I would have gone for. So glad that we had the same, mindset.
I think
there.
Vince I think this is what he wanted to do with Lars, so he's doing it with this guy.
It feels that way. The outfit, the scripted lines, all of it. It feels like it was what he had planned for Lars.
I don't know if he had the outfits planned for Lars or did he, but either way, it's the same thing. Like, do you know
we
what
heard that he wanted some type of Mad Max look for Lars Sullivan a while ago. Remember when?
Boy. Well, that makes
he was going to face Cena. And now it was passed on to Karrion Kross, and this is what we got. It looks like a ridiculous S&M outfit instead of being a Mad Max theme.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I get the Mad Max theme now that you bring that up, but it's definitely more like bondage Mad Max.
Yeah,
which I'm also down
which
for.
Which Mad Max was to a certain extent, but this is abysmal. So
this was rough, dude. He looks like a goof. That's the problem. He really does look like a fucking goof. Where were you, Joe? Where were you?
And Raw got 1.84 million viewers with a 0.52, as I was saying earlier. So they went down a bit because we thought they had 2 million, but that was just their overnight average. 1.84 isn't terrible, but they're only seeing an increase due to specific people and certain things. There's not much more. I mean, now the marketing for their Friday Night SmackDown show tomorrow it's so distasteful because of 9/11.
Oh, why? What are they saying?
Basically, Spaz tagged us in it a few days ago on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, coming, the show that matters, and we come home at the only time that really matters," because they're in Madison Square Garden.
Oh,
so they're like, oh, they have the towers up in the background with the number 11. They're like, we come home at the time where it matters the most. Brock Lesnar is there on Friday Night SmackDown when it matters the most. Like, they're doing a remembrance.
No, when it mattered the most, it would have mattered the
Uh-huh.
most if you'd got some of those wrestlers onto the 9/11 planes to stop that shit. That's when it would have mattered the most.
But them saying it like they're returning because they care about 9/11 in New York. No, it's just to make them look good and virtue signal yet again. It's bad. It's really, really, really bad. So.
Oh my God! What?
I'm not exaggerating one bit. Hold on, I will find this on Twitter so you could play it.
Okay. Oh, look, here it is. We return to Madison Square Garden when it matters the most. World Wrestling Entertainment returns to New York. September 11th, when we're needed the most.
I just tagged you in it. Now you can play the actual commercial. You can see that I'm not exaggerating here. I tagged you in it on Twitter.
Okay, Twitter.
I added a comment for you. So you can see that I'm not overreacting here or being on a soapbox. It just feels very, like I said, disgusting.
Okay. Oh, that's the music I was looking for, like the dun dun.
Yeah, this is exactly like that patriotic. But listen to the wording.
On a weekend.
I was really, oh my God, dude! It's exactly.
I told you it's like
it's like a movie,
Armageddon type trailer. Yeah.
The Rock 2. Nicolas Cage is back. This time.
But listen to what they say about the WWE. They make themselves sound like the heroes.
Comes home.
Oh my God!
It matters the most.
The spirit of America lives here.
This Friday, live from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, Fox presents Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, they could have just said we're coming back, but they could have done without this part.
Yeah. Like it felt very
on a weekend.
On a weekend
where we will never forget.
We will never forget.
WWE comes home.
It's not even 9/11. That's Saturday. I could see if they had the pay-per-view that day
Saturday
or something.
Saturday is 9/11.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not even like it's that night. I get it's the night
It's
before
Friday.
you're in New York, but
I get it because Gavin's birthday is Saturday, so I know.
Yeah.
Like every year, it's like happy birthday.
by the way,
And then like all day in school, they're like, "This was the day everyone died, and the buildings are blowing up." And he's like, "Wow, happy birthday!" Like
Jesse would appreciate this. My sister-in-laws didn't find it funny, but I was playing with my niece Brinley last weekend.
That
and
isn't funny.
No, she's got her toy airplane. And she's flying it around, and I'm holding her up as she's flying it through the air. And then all of a sudden, she smashed it into like the little village that they had in the ground. I'm like, "What are you playing? 9/11?" And I thought it was funny, but just
Jesus,
the family didn't care much for it.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to say that the kid said that, something like that. I was
Oh.
like,
No,
waiting for it. Like,
I'm trying to
up is
train her
this
young.
child?
She's
good.
I'll train
That's
her
good.
young. I got to have her.
Next story I
make
hear,
some
it'll be
comebacks.
she's going to be teaching you fucked up shit. That's what kids do.
Yeah. They
sick.
surprise you quite often, to be honest.
I can't.
It's when they
Wait till
survive
Gavin
abortion.
comes home and
September 11th.
tells you he needs an abortion.
Oh, it's here again.
That's the other conversation you never want to have with your kid.
WWE comes
Well, I mean-
home.
Intense trailer music 3.
The spirit of America lives here.
This Friday.
Vince couldn't even get it all out. He's like, "The spirit of America lives here." Like he couldn't even get it out there. It was like really weird. Like it sounds like this probably. Like
Yeah, he was emotional then too, though.
you're right about that. That's true.
Absolutely. So.
I mean, this is.
And now the Miz is going on Dancing with the Stars. So that's
thought it was-
really how you celebrate America.
I thought it was like a fake Dancing with the Stars. Like I thought I saw it was like a Dancing with Celebrities or something like.
Yeah, no, it's the real show Nikki Bella was on.
Oh,
and,
really? He's on
there
the
we
real
go.
one.
Yeah. He's on
Okay.
the real ABC Dancing with the Stars.
Oh wait, Jake. This Friday, the World Wrestling Entertainment returns. When America needs World Wrestling Entertainment the most, we return to Madison Square Garden, where there are no planes. And we revive the spirit of America. Brock Lesnar, the Samoan Chief, Roman Reigns, and Vince McMahon sacrifices a special needs in front of everybody.
It's okay because it was his Make-A-Wish.
One child will make a wish in front of the whole WWE audience when he gets to kiss Vince McMahon in the center of the ring. For the first time on national television, a grown man, Vince McMahon, will share a kiss with a child. But it's okay because it's his Make-A-Wish.
Watch him join the Kiss My Ass Club.
Watch him join
Pat
the
would've wanted-
Kiss My Ass Club. When you wish upon a star, it makes no difference who you are.
Twinkle,
Friday.
twinkle, my dick, little boy.
Oh my
That's
God!
my Vinceism.
You know, some sick like Hollywood thing is like, "Oh, it's his wish. It's his wish." And they bring the kid in,
Yep.
and then
They
all the
would.
all the people
Absolutely.
are picketing outside, like disgusting, like like whatever. And then like they're like, "No, it's his wish. Fuck you." And there's people fighting.
WWE returns home for the biggest explosion in New York since 9/11. Like that would be acceptable.
We're here.
Like
Susan B.
And then the old-
Coleman.
yeah.
Susan
If you're gonna
G.
do it,
Coleman.
go
Music
for
plays.
it.
Dun, 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 dun. They start playing the old fucking WrestleMania music. or
No,
whatever
they got to
it
go
was.
the old SmackDown theme.
Right.
Oh, the fucking. Oh, wow. That wannabe rave song or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck it was.
I played Virgil's song the other day because, in my opinion, Virgil's song is like the Flip Floppy Guys song almost. It's like the modern day Virgil song. What's the guy's name who does all the flip floppies all over the place?
Reggie.
Reggie. So Reggie's WWE theme. Listen to
Joe,
this.
how did we miss this? Oh my God, it was on Botchamania this week. It's because we didn't pay attention to the 24/7 segment in great detail, but the one where he was stealing the ice cream truck. Do you remember where Reggie he jumped off the top of the ice cream truck?
Oh yeah.
And Akira Tozawa and what's his name? The other guy was in camo, like a ghillie suit.
Barely
They
paid
were
attention.
trying. Yeah, they were trying to hide from him to steal the title. What's his name? R-Truth. Jesus, I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
He was in the ghillie suit, and Akira Tozawa was there and all that. They were arguing in the street. A guy had his RV in the background, and he runs out when the ice cream truck takes off, and he's screaming and hollering. He has got this biggest pot belly. He is as southern as it comes.
Yeah.
He's screaming at them because you can't actually steal an ice cream truck. All he has is his jeans and suspenders, bare feet.
Oh my God.
Stinks to the nine. He's screaming at them. So then Devon Dudley tries to explain to him, hey, this is just a set. This is we're producing something. We're doing WWE. And he's like, that wrestling show? And he's like, well, I'll go inside my trailer if you buy me lunch.
Wait.
So Devon bought him lunch.
Wait a minute. Where is this? On what?
It was on Botchamania.
But it was on Raw?
The actual happening of it was on Raw, but Devon explains the clip on Botchamania.
Oh, okay. So it really happened. It wasn't
really
part
happened
of the show.
On Raw, though. So at the end of
Wait,
Reggie's
he went on
segment,
Botchamania?
At the end of the segment, yeah, you can see it. The guy goes ahead and runs out of his RV and he's yelling, but you only hear R-Truth and Tozawa's audio. But you can see the guy with, his jeans and suspenders, no shirt,
God.
pot belly in the background, flailing and yelling. And it's just hilarious to hear the whole story, how he got them to buy him lunch.
Wait,
then his lady was screaming at him in his trailer because he didn't get her lunch, and it was this big ordeal.
Wait, did Botchamania rip the audio of him, or did Matthew have him on his show?
No. Devon just told the story about everything that happened.
Where did he tell it?
On Botchamania. That's where he had everything.
So wait a minute. He went on Botchamania and told the story?
I don't know if he just had the clip or if it was on.
That's what I'm saying
itself
is like,
when I
where
saw
did
it.
Devon tell this story? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know where he was for it. I just saw it on Botchamania.
All right, we got to go look it up right now. But listen to this. This is Reggie's theme. Listen to this. I thought it sounds like Virgil to me.
It does.
I mean, this guy is like shucking and jiving and coming out there. Dun, 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 dun. By the way, you know what that sounds like? Somebody call my mama. Dun, 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 dun,
they all do in
dun,
some
dun,
way,
dun.
shape, or form.
Very similar to that.
I thought it was going to go into like the fucking Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it's like that.
Music.
But here's Virgil.
The ass rape music or the other one?
This is Virgil.
Oh, he said it on kayfabe commentary. Thank you, Paul.
Oh, okay, all
That's
right.
why I love you, Paul. But it was brought up, so it was shared on Botchamania. Like I said, I knew I just saw the clip earlier briefly, but it was funny as all hell.
Let me see if I can find it. Is it recent that he put it up?
Yeah, it was the most recent episode.
1 week ago?
But yeah,
Is this his channel again? He's got another new channel?
Yeah, he's got another new channel, so.
What does he do when he gets to like he's on Botchamania 433 and then he's on like 440? What happens to the old ones, the 300s? Does that just like you better
There's a lot
download
of
it?
them backed up on his website, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And then he re-uploads a lot of like the most recent ones, but some of them are just kind of lost to the ether. So.
Okay, let's see if this is. Let's see if I can find it.
It was more towards the end.
Okay. Oh, he's got the Charlotte fight going on.
I won the I was set to
I like that.
the arena message out there. I'd know his head had hurt. The worst Fire Emblem.
Who is this guy talking at the end of the bunch? That's not Matthew.
Homer.
Simpsons? Ric Flair? Ric Flair eating a pussy? Roman?
Boss.
I don't see it. Is it episode 440, you think? We'll have to figure out what episode
I'm looking
it is.
for it right now.
I bet you we could.
Oh, it was taken down, I guess.
Oh,
441.
ball sack. That's too bad. Well, you probably look it up too. I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
I'm trying
always
to
having
find the
like
clip.
get new channels. Like every so often they like get taken down and they have to start up a whole new fucking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean he's
You know.
I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know. I guess it's just too. I don't know. There's nowhere you can really. What I don't understand is there's got to be a way to do it because so many other people do it and upload everything and like they don't have a problem. I feel like, but you'd have to reach out to the legal team of every company. It's like WWE's legal team. They fix my shit like that again. Like I told them not even. I told them not to worry about it.
It starts it. So it starts at 3 minutes exactly.
Wait, so it was the right one?
You were right. Yep, 4:40, but it starts at 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's way at the beginning.
Yeah, the clip I had was at the end of it because it was only this clip.
And there was a camper there, and the camper was like on the side of it. Now you can't really tell the person. And there was a camper there.
Oh, this is funny.
And the camper was like on the side of it. Now you can't really tell the person to leave because it's I don't know if you want. What do they say? It's
We're the WWE. Get out.
Yeah, get out. You can't say that.
You know who I am.
Yeah, so they're able to stay there. You know, it's the law. So as we're doing it, Reggie jumps off the ice cream truck and does his flips and all of that. He jumps in the truck. And as he starts to leave, the guy comes out of the camper. He's got suspenders on his belly. I mean, it's out there.
He looks exactly like my step-grandfather, too. He even used to wear suspenders. No joke. Same pot belly. He used to play his banjo, listen to Marshall Tucker. Like, out and out, looks like Todd. No joke.
Oh, my God. Holy shit, dude.
But
like
I told you you would love this. Could you? And how did we miss this the night of Raw? Like, oh my God! Last week, I wish we caught this.
Out of the camper, he's got suspenders on his belly. I mean, it's out there.
I mean, he's right there the entire time they're arguing.
It's way out there.
Oh my God, that is way.
I told you to love that. I'm shitty at explaining it. I'm sorry, but I knew you'd love it.
No, I pictured it like pretty much like that guy's just more horrific.
He's barefoot. He's got no shoes on, so his feet kind of look like this. Like somebody took a hammer, went in his shoe, started banging it. He had no teeth in his mouth. Oh, it was phenomenal. He comes out screaming, "What the hell are you doing? You can't do that! God damn it! You can't steal an ice cream truck. That's ice cream. That's illegal." He's running after the truck.
Oh.
You could not write this. It was so damn good. And Tozawa and Truth continued their verbiage and what they were saying. So we never said cut because he got in the shot. We continued to roll until Tozawa and Truth were done. Once they were done, everybody just fell out laughing. And we said, we got to put that on the show. And I was like, well, I don't think that's going to happen. So we did another retake.
You're going to have to get Tubby to sign an NDA or whatever.
Because we had to tell the guy what was going on.
Or illegal.
Yeah, they had to.
That it was part of WWE in the backstage. And the guy was like, WWE? You mean that wrestling stuff? That pro wrestling stuff? And we went, yes, sir. And he was like, good. He was like, all right. So we asked him, the guy named Tommy, who's one of the head guys on the headset, he goes, can you just stay to the side, please? And let us finish this, and we're going to be out of your way. And he just goes, can you buy me lunch? And I felt like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. I'm like, Jules, if you give
what the hell?
Nimrod money, I will beat him on sight. Oh, it was great. It was great. But here's the great part. This woman comes out of the trailer. She got mad at the guy because Tommy actually bought him lunch. He got mad at the guy because the guy got lunch and didn't bring her any. And was cussing.
Wow. This gets better and better. What the fuck?
Him out from A to Z. Oh, it was hilarious.
The troublemakers.
Right. Listen, we
like I said, what a Jerry Springer episode.
Right
yeah, when all that's missing is him to get in a fight with the girl, with the lady and his wife or whoever that was in the truck, in the fucking camper.
Oh, they killed each other. All over food.
That guy looked like Toe Jam from Toe Jam when he's like 80.
People like that, you know, neighbors I had many moons ago, and
yeah, to blow him.
Oh my God, terrible people.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let's take a look real quick at people asking about the NFL score. Let's check it out. No, Bucks are still 28-26. Bucks. 4 minutes and 47 seconds left. And let's go to the donations. If you guys want to donate, you know the deal. Super chat, links down below, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know how hard it gets when I get wet. We got a new $25 smoke up donation. There's some fecal matter.
It's okay, I am a horse.
Oh, no.
On the floor. It's okay. Fecal matters on the floor. It's okay, I am a horse. Fecal matters on the floor. It could be worse on the floor. Fecal matters on the floor. Fecal matters on the floor. It's okay, I am a horse.
So AEW throw in the 18-49 demo, but they need to maintain this pace, especially after their terrible time management last night. Luckily, Suzuki is returning for next week's Dynamite with his faction. Suzuki gone to address the bullshit from this week.
I saw that, and but I just don't know what they're doing. Like, it's like, dude, you just blew his whole thing. Like, who wants to see this guy next week? He just had a 7-minute match, and they're almost essentially, I wonder if they had this planned, or if they were like, all right, bring him back again because that was bullshit. Like, we fucked that up. I don't know. But dude, Jake, you watched it, right? I haven't talked to you about this yet. What the fuck was Suzuki? Do like 7-minute punching and then it ended?
Yeah, it was very bizarre. I don't know if something weird happened and there was a botch, or because wasn't he bleeding towards the end?
He was bleeding like pretty quickly for randomly, it felt like. And then,
so I think something happened because you saw Moxley walk around the arena for what felt like 17 hours.
All right, it was 3 minutes.
Shake hands. I know, but it was like
what
a long time.
Well, I started thinking
it felt like they were stalling.
It felt like they were rushing anyway. They were rushing the match, and I was like, all right, this match is rushed. And then
because it wasn't his usual pace. And then he changed the paradigm shift to basically an inverted like underhook suplex.
Yeah, like
now.
a double
it's
arm.
Not even he doesn't even spike. And some people are saying, well, that's what the Death Rider is. The Death Rider is the spike one, and the paradigm shift is up and over. Well, no, he's just doing it different now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got told he couldn't spike people like that, but it's weird to not have it.
I didn't understand that either. And then again, like you said, 3 minutes of walking around.
Paul's right. His eyelid was bleeding, so I'm not sure if the injury prevented something from, it changed the ending and they went home even earlier. But Moxley, went around to try and catch COVID, basically. He went up and
I was like, what is he doing? He's like, I want to catch COVID. Let me go out here.
Once you shared that, I was like, that's the God's honest truth there. What are they doing?
Well, I think the point, I almost wonder if they really believe the point was to, like, give Moxley a moment in the crowd. Moxley's homecoming, you know what I mean? Like, that's what the thing, like, is that
I thought they would do that, but not for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it felt like eternity. It was like, dude, they needed 5 more minutes of a match. You could have had at least 2 more minutes. He could have ran around the arena for 30 seconds to a minute. You didn't need to run around for 3 minutes.
I know you said it last night. I hate parroting what you already said, but it's the God's honest truth of how I felt. And then one thing I'm actually very upset with that I don't even know if you addressed. Honestly, I don't recall. But so I agree with you entirely. The commercials were the worst time thing ever. Even though it was picture-in-picture, you could barely tell what was going on. And to happen in pivotal matches and pivotal moments like the Ruby Soho match, most of everything happened in the picture-in-picture throughout most of the matches. Even the Moxley main event, I feel everything was cut off by the commercial break.
Oh, shit.
So Sammy Guevara is
basically through the TNT app.
Yeah, so you
don't even get the picture-in-picture.
You just get a thing that says, we'll take you right back, or you get the commercials, yeah. So that's the unfortunate part. And worse than that is...
So either way, huh?
Yeah, either way you're screwed. And then Sammy Guevara is not being used except for cue cards. So that stuff was infuriating. But my biggest gripe from the night was that they just announced that Cody's returning at the Arthur Ashe Stadium show to take on Malachi Black.
Here we go. It's like the same thing.
By the way, he's done filming his next show, so he'll be back.
To get his revenge.
Yeah, he'll get his revenge, and because he's wearing all white now, so now he's going to be the angel, Cody, and resurrect himself.
Do you remember
Jesus, just like the Neo?
Do you remember my idea too? That I said, like,
yeah.
Remember last time he beat Brody Lee, and so please don't do that again. So we thought, right, that the idea is he comes back, but he loses again, and now his story can be how he needs to get back on the winning track. And he stays away from Malachi. So Malachi just gets the win. He gets the I got you, goodbye. And now
I would
Cody
have Cody
has to prove
have the upper hand, right? Cody has the upper hand for maybe a minute or two. Not a long time. Like, they're pretty evenly matched again. There's no one side or the other being too dominant. All of a sudden, Cody gets the upper hand. He hits him with crossroads. It looks like he's not going to be able to kick out. He kicks out like 2 9/10. And Malachi, upset, rolls out of the ring and grabs Cody's boot again, like he did this week. And all he does is pick it up and he places it in the ring, and you still see his brother's blood on the boot. And all Cody can do is like kneel down and stare at it, and it breaks his mind for a second, his attention. And as he's looking at the boot, bam, he gets hit with the black mass kick, and he wins again. I mean, they could do something with that retirement angle, because what was the point of it if he's just coming back now? Why have it?
Right.
If it was just for a cheap pop idea that night, then come on, like, why? Why does everything have to feel so finite with them all the time? I'll never challenge this one again. If I lose, I'm done forever. Like, a lot of these stipulations are just a bit overwhelming because they don't always feel necessary or like called for entirely, at least in my eyes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, but other times, like the Cody situation, I'll never challenge you again. This is your first time challenging him. I could see if you lost 3 times and you need a reason to challenge MJF. This made sense.
Yeah.
Why would MJF challenge you again when he already beat you 3 times? Well, now he gets to do it again and gets to retire you. So obviously he'd take that match. But with Cody and Jericho, it was silly to put up your career immediately or put up, your
They're working
challenge.
backwards. They're working backwards. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So
it's the same thing as I'll never wrestle for the AEW belt again. It's like, what? Why did you randomly say that?
And
why would you say that? Why would you say that? Like, it doesn't make, you just got here. This is
we've got 2 really good matches scheduled. We got MJF and Brian Pillman Jr., which I do want to talk to you about after this. I loved that segment.
That was the best segment of the night.
Yeah, what a way to make, Pillman Jr., who was already over, but into an instant star, really. And holy hell, did MJF tear into Pillman's family. And she even went into labor.
I'm not
the
sure.
Sister.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm not sure Pillman's like super over. I think he was, I think he's received well in his hometown.
Hometown over. Not, I wouldn't say everywhere, but I think this will get him over.
I think this put like MJF over. Like he was like,
MJF is over even more as a heel now. Yeah, he's viewed as even more
that
like
was
a
fire,
vile scumbag.
No, but it is good to see Pillman, who's learning more and more and getting just better and better in we think is like the top segment of the night. That's really good.
Yeah. So now we have these 2 matches to look forward to. I'm excited in that sense. I just don't want to see Cody come in and dominate quickly. I like how the Dark Order is having this like chaos, and it really kind of adds a bit of weight to my idea that maybe Wyatt is going to be involved some way, shape, or form with the group. Maybe he brings everybody back together, and if they start to break up, he can make everybody focus again, and maybe they challenge then for the tag titles or something like that. He could be like, Brody would be spinning in his grave to see you guys like this, some kind of idea like that. Nicer said. I'm sure Bray could do it, but you get the idea. It seems like that's something they're going for, or else why would they have the infighting now happening? Yeah, there has to be some payoff, right?
Yeah, they're setting up something here. Either the destruction.
So the payoff has to be somebody coming in.
The destruction of the club is something that I would be thinking, but it's really not. They seem to really treasure this group, that they want to keep it alive for the Brody and stuff like that. So anybody coming in has got to be super meaningful, because otherwise they won't want a leader or somebody to be involved or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. It could be something though, no doubt. But they're also not afraid to already get weird about him too, because somebody made a negative joke or a negative thing about him recently or some point. And I don't remember what it was now, so I wish I could tell you to give you the example. But Soundwave92, top dog, thank you, Soundwave, for the $20. Also, thanks to everybody who responded to my Patreon earlier today. I put out a podcast, and everybody listened, and everybody was giving me comments on that. Thank you guys for that. We're going to have one with Jake. I'm going to have my interview up soon, or podcast, the one that I did with Zombie 13 up. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
Tomorrow night's Monetize This. We're going to have a good time, but still waiting for that belt.
Yeah, I know. And then tomorrow as well, we have Rampage, and we have SmackDown, of course. But Rampage sounds pretty damn must-see. Pac versus Andrade, which was supposed to be at All Out. Think about it. We didn't even have that match. How much later the night would have went.
Yeah.
And then Sting and Darby Allin are responding to Tully Blanchard. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel, not Reba, are taking on Ruby Soho, Rio, and Statlander. So that's a trio 6-women tag match I'm excited to see. And then Brian Pillman Jr. takes on the returning Max Caster from the Acclaimed. So I'm happy for that. Going to be a fun night. And they also have something else, I believe, prepared for that night. As well as next week's Dynamite, we have Adam Cole taking on the Elite Hunter, Frankie Kazarian, in his first TV match. That's going to be badass. And then we have Jade, That Botch Cargill, taking on Layla Hirsch. That might be a mess. And then Darby's taking on Sean Spears. So, again, yes. Someone asked earlier, if you had to cut 1 or 2 people from AEW, who would that be?
If I had to cut 1 or 2 people right now from AEW?
Yeah, we'll say 1 man, 1 woman. We'll make it 1 and 1.
Does Luther count?
I think that's a given.
He's on the roster.
Yeah, I would say
let's
Chaos Project is an obvious one. So we'll take him and Serpentico out of the choices because that's too easy.
Let me take a look here. Okay. All right.
I'll give you my answer right away.
Okay.
Joey Janela.
All right. I wouldn't cut him because
you know what?
He's just being misused. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think he has a certain amount of intrigue about him, and I think he'd be better serviced just staying full time with the Indies because he's appearing on Dark every now and again. So Dark's doing well, no doubt. It was sold out for the tapings.
Well, you got to. So you got to have to kind of
Universal, but
you need to explain the rules to me. Like if you tell me like let's cut a guy who could do better on the Indies, or
I just anyone you want to let go for
anyone,
any rhyme or reason. Some you just don't care for them. You don't whatever your motives may be.
Okay.
But mine's kind of multifaceted because I don't care for what they're doing with him. So I feel like he's better serviced elsewhere or better served elsewhere. And also, you know, I haven't been crazy with his character either. So let him go back to GCW full time, something like that. He could do a lot there. He likes the hardcore stuff.
I guess I would. He's just because of his potential, I couldn't cut him. So that's why I can't cut Joey Janela because I think he's got some kind of potential to entertain people, and I don't know why they don't. He's 7-3. He's he's charismatic. He's got the charisma I like. Joey Janela, I would cut Lee Johnson. I don't even know what he does.
He just took on Malachi Black the other day.
Right. So he to me is
he's in the Nightmare family.
He's
currently.
generic. I have no idea what he does. Who else?
He was the military guy. Yeah, he really doesn't do much.
He kind of falls into the same category as Joey
Marco Stunt.
Well, Joey Janela, that they don't use him, but I mean also that it's just like he's got nowhere. Brody Lee's still on the roster. Huh. Not Ricky. They put him on. I'm looking down the list. I mean, the Butcher and the Blade are serviceable because they need a tag team group. I would get rid of Amy Sakura. I'd get rid of her. She's on the roster.
She was the one that I was going to chop. I can't stand her. People like her, but the Freddie Mercury thing drives me nuts, and I don't care for anything she does in the ring.
I think she did drop it, but she still irritates me.
She still came out with the theme that's supposed to sound like We Will Rock You, kind of, and a few other clips of, Queen. And...
Leave that microphone at home.
Yeah. I think just because it was a Battle Royal, she didn't have her full entrance, but...
I would get rid of... I don't know,
Big Swole was my other choice.
Big Swole's on there somewhere on the lower list because they don't do anything with her either, and she doesn't anymore. They do nothing with her.
But
so I don't see her.
Really botching badly for a while.
And she was weird in the ring. I don't know what was up with that. But yeah, Joey Janela, he's on the bottom of the list, but he's the one that I would rescue because I think he's got something. Like, I haven't seen anything from some of these generic guys. I call them generic guys because I've seen them wrestle and they look like they're cool, that they do these little flip-floppy, crazy gymnastics things, but they don't stand out to me at all. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't know what you do other than that. I don't know anything about character, nothing. They don't do anything that's amazing to me. There's a couple of guys like that. Kip Sabian or whatever Saban is one.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
That's kind of what turned me off from AEW for a while.
Yeah.
Was a lot of that stuff, like you're saying, where it's a lot of cool shit, but it's just
nothing.
What else was there,
Yeah, Aaron Solo.
But they have
what
a lot
does he
of other
do?
shit, though. But I've been watching lately. They have a lot more shit that does tell stories and all this. I think maybe they're just trying to cater to a million things. I don't know.
Right.
Solos with QT Marshall and Agogo and Camarado.
Yeah, it's like it's not that it's their fault. It's just what I'm seeing, like what I'm presented with. I don't think what's that?
I'd let go Kenny Omega.
Yeah, get rid of him.
Luther we'd cut. Marco Stunt we'd agree to cut.
Lee Johnson. I'd cut. Well,
And if you're going to veto my choice, then I'm going to cut Brody Lee Jr.
Oh my God!
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Who would I cut on the
God, I had a
male
fucked
side?
up joke.
Well, did you hear Nick Cage's wife is upset?
Really?
Did you hear this? His wife
I
made a
did
video.
not.
In fact, I lost the video. I had it on Twitter, and I lost it. And now,
shit.
wait, this might be it.
I barely had any service being stuck
Oh.
in hospital/infusion stuff, and then you can't use your phone and the other
You see,
processes.
Brian Cage
So
is a superstar.
I've not even really been on Twitter or online at all.
His
so.
wife is gonna fucking. I mean, he's gonna either. He might flip out because I mean, this is some Rebby Hardy shit. Listen to this. This is Nick Cage's wife.
Oh boy.
You see, Brian Cage is a superstar. Those people who know him from Indies, Impact, Lucha Underground, where I met him, know that he's a superstar. All you have to do is Google him and watch all his matches. PWG. He's a superstar, and he's being misused right now.
Uh-oh. She's opening her mouth. Rebby Hardy alert.
Uh-oh. Well, that's okay. They got Matt Hardy, so they know what it's up.
Yeah, but this is what causes problems. I was gonna say I as a joke
Remember?
originally I was gonna say I'd let go of Brian Cage
Remember?
just as a joke, but Lance Archer would be the one that I would let go.
But do you realize that the other day we were talking about like it's going to start getting weird soon with all these new people
we
coming
said
in?
it.
Here we go. It's starting. See,
His wife might have just put the nail in his coffin. For that.
Ironically, though,
Backstage.
Ironically, the thing that CM Punk said he joined the company because of all the togetherness and stuff. We said that him coming is the beginning of the fucking jealousy of everybody else. So here it comes.
Yeah, and it's happening already because I mean, realistically, if you are one of those mid-card guys and then you see Bryan, Punk, Cole, the Elite, you know that the Young Bucks, champs or not, are featured more than the actual champs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's 29-28 Cowboys? No way.
Oh my God! What?
Minute 24 remaining.
Dude, the Cowboys took over the game on a field goal. Are you fucking serious?
This is crazy.
What?
I'm up.
What the hell is going on, dude? Are you serious? The Cowboys fans have to be exploding right now.
I know that's nuts. Still a minute and a half left.
And by the way, I've seen Brady, and you guys have too. I've seen these. He looks weird in the first game, and then they blow it away the rest of the season. So I'm not even worried about Buccaneers, but they're going to be good. It's just this tells me more about
Brady shines usually.
But this tells me more about how good the
moment.
Cowboys are. Like, I mean, because how good they even hang right now. So that's crazy. They're going to be good this year.
A lot of people said they were going to be no joke this season.
I said, too, they're going to be better, but I'm not going to believe they're going to be able to beat the Buccaneers. And look at what the fuck's happening right now. It's crazy.
I just chose the Buccaneers because I hate the Cowboys.
I chose it because, I mean, Jesus. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to pick
I'm a Giants fan, so I've always greatly disliked the Cowboys.
The team that won the Super Bowl last year, who's all still together, facing the team that's trying to rebuild and come back. Like, I just didn't think.
It's a hell of a rivalry.
So, listen.
In a story sense.
Here's the thing about Nick Cage. Like, I don't know. I agree
you
that.
Mean Brian Cage?
Brian Cage. Brian Cage.
You're messing me up.
He should be
I
more.
thought you meant Nick Gage at first, and I'm like.
I might have said that. I don't know.
His meth girlfriend?
He should be doing more. I agree. I think the whole thing with the Taz group and all that stuff sucks. Like, I would be, you know what I'd be doing? I mean, I got to be honest. You know what I'd be doing right now? I'd be booking Cage versus Miro. I'd be like, you guys are going to have a program together.
Yeah, big man fight like they did with Eddie.
Yes.
At least Eddie had a reason as to why he lost because the referee sucks and got in front of the turnbuckle. And, they're all methed out anyways. Hold on. I got to hit this duster really quick. All right, I'm good again. Sorry, I got to keep myself awake. But just damn whores over there, not able to take any criticism. No, really, the mid card is going to start to become more jealous, rightfully so, because there's such an influx of crazy high level star power, and certain people that were barely used to begin with now are really going to hardly ever be on TV. Look at how chaotic Dynamite felt. Really, honestly, it felt overloaded in a sense, and nothing had room to breathe.
Yeah, they were like, quickly get it out.
From stuff to stuff. It's like, all right, here's a match. Here's a promo. Here's Dan Lambert. All right, during the commercial break, you've got cue cards from Sammy, so you can't look away yet. All right, when we get back, then we got a match. Then we got another picture-in-picture with this match. Then we're going to go ahead and have an interview. It was just constant. Like, nothing ever had a chance to just play out. There was always like, and I know you want to hold your attention, but some things needed like a few minutes longer. It felt like
it feels like, and it feels like the AEW that we knew and were loving has changed a little bit to where it's like, whoa, this is a little bit different. Like it feels like Hollywood's coming into AEW or something. It's very weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's a strange feeling in a way, in a good way, but in a weird way. There's so much talent coming in now that they're merging with the talent we've become familiar with. So it's a little weird. It kind of, the other night,
Bray's coming, Malachi Black is there,
Yeah.
Cody's coming back. Like, goddamn. I mean, Adam Page is returning shortly.
yeah, this is weird. Like, I mean, in good way, but
in a good way, yeah. I mean, they're turning the tide if they're getting a 1.5 in their highest, essentially 1.3 rating. But I it's not that his wife doesn't have a point, but he never got to defend the FTW title at, like, Starks, isn't either. I get like they have certain things, but I don't know. It's just they're not doing much with a lot of people. So how can we even argue against that? So who do you let go? Who did you say, or did I not?
yeah, I gave a bunch of random people, I guess.
Okay. Who did you come down to? Who's your final pick?
I don't remember their names. Like that's how much
we'll
I think.
Say Luther and go with the.
Yeah,
he needs to be fired.
I actually didn't. I might have missed him. Maybe I missed it. I didn't see him on the roster.
He was there. We passed by it.
Oh, okay, well there you go. Sorry, Jericho.
But AEW Dark sold out as soon as they put tickets out because the September 11 tapings are at exactly what they used to do for Impact and WCW worldwide. They're doing it at Universal Studios, and it's got that outside, kind of feel to it. So it's going to be a cool Saturday taping. I'm saying that's pretty awesome. They're doing a double set of tapings for that show.
Well, I can't wait.
And Tony Khan is also talking to Leo Rush about returning, so he's working on that.
Oh, God, I saw that, and I went, ugh.
Sami Zayn's contract date is very confusing as well. It's not up this fall, but it is up around the time of Kevin Owens, and we're thinking his is restructured too. So that's something people are listening out for. Tentatively, October 1st and the 4th is what's going to be the draft. First will be SmackDown, and the 4th will be Raw. And that's when we're going to see the WWE draft happen.
You're gonna have Cage going to NXT. What's going to happen is they're going to get Cage in NXT.
It might happen, but I doubt it. I mean, they want big guys, but they don't want wrestlers anymore. They want football stars and athletes and Olympic medalists. They want people like that they can turn into wrestlers, because if you have some form of talent, they'll take you. Right now, their idea with the Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring is they're going to kick it all off on SmackDown for the season premiere, which is a week before the Saudi show, and then it's going to culminate in Saudi Arabia on 10/21. Now, they're already arguing with talent in the back, with people that say they don't want to go. They can't outright force you, but they are finding ways to indirectly threaten people going forward. So it's interesting as to how it's breaking down, really.
It's like some people,
some people are genuinely very upset, but it's the truth. We see it over and over again, Jesse. Joe and I said it before, but this is what happens. Push comes to shove, they're saying you better be at the Saudi show, and if you're not there, unless you're someone that's way at the top like Roman or Lesnar, many people can't say no. I mean, Daniel Bryan was pretty much the only one that could get away with saying no at that point in time, and only because he made it so public too that if he got punished, it would be obvious as to why. But if you see any, I'm trying to think of the Street Profits, anybody like that says no, they'll never be booked again. I guarantee it. You don't tell Vince.
Like
no.
when CM Punk, you remember when he was on Starcast last year, and they told him about how they have days off now, and he's like, okay, but wait, did they punish him when they get back? Because they can punish him too, like give him all that shit and then punish him for it later. It's like,
yeah, he was right.
So I mean, I'm sure that shit will never end.
Well, think about how he said with the European tour. He said, "I'll do everything. I'll do extra stuff. I'll agree to do the movie, but I won't do the European tour." And then he didn't get to do the movie because they sent him on the European tour anyways, and he didn't want to go, but they made him. And holy shit, Tampa wins!
Wow, Tampa came back and won. Oh no, they
You
didn't.
all
They,
just
wait.
said Buccaneers win.
Oh God, I'm still behind. Oh my God, the Cowboys almost did it, and they fucked it up.
Wow, not to spoil it there for you. I'm sorry, but look at that, Buccaneers.
Well, they must have
They
kicked
got
the field goal.
comeback. Soundwave still lost because he bet on the spread. Sorry,
Wow.
boss.
They hit a field
Don't you
goal.
hate it when that happens?
Oh.
There's been a few times where I'm like, oh, if I covered the spread this night, it would have been 10 grand. Yeah,
That's
off of nothing.
That's okay. The other night when I was watching wrestling, I had this going on while I was watching it. This was happening. he's just jumping on me. He's like, look, the camera's on. I'm like, yeah, I got to go live in a minute on something. I'm doing work. He's like, look at me in the camera. And I'm like, I got to... He's climbing all over me.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my God. Hey, by the way...
Those are the fun times.
He's all
though.
snotty right now and sick. I'm like, uh-oh.
Aw.
He's 4 days at school, and he's sick. He's sick.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah, he's already... It's coming down his face, and he goes, my throat hurts. And I'm like, oh, here it is. And I was like, well, that kid has been around nobody because of COVID. So you think about it, like 3 years old at home, 4 years old at home, 5 years old. Now he goes to school for the first time ever. Like, and he couldn't be around people. I mean, other than being at the park a couple times over, so he's getting any kind of virus ever that he's never experienced probably. Like my older kids probably won't.
That's a good point. Usually they're exposed to a lot more at that age, especially.
Yep. It's going to be I'm like, I told they were sitting down. I told the kids, I'm like, when are you guys going to bring it home? It's going to kill me. And not
all the shit you did like everything you did over the last year to have to be safe, and then they end up bringing.
Yeah, then I die.
Well, that's how it happens. I mean, isn't that kind of just how it happens anyway, statistically?
Yeah, it really is.
Someone's got to bring it.
Well, I used to say that back when my daughter and son were starting school out here, and I remember I got a little cold. I was like, of course I got a cold. You guys brought it home. Like, otherwise I wouldn't have a cold. But now it's probably going to be insane because all of us are like so sterile from nothing. I haven't been sick in.
And everybody else at the schools too, so like it's easier for them to catch something than then give it to them and give it to you.
Yeah, because our immune systems are lessened from not being outside and amongst people. When we have masks, so the masks protect us. But if the kids aren't wearing masks,
vitamin D,
right?
What about the D, Jake? Everyone's taking zinc and vitamin D. I thought that was the fucking cure-all.
You want some vitamin D? Yeah, I'm taking vitamin D too, but you know what? In the end, you still need the vitamin C. A lot of that.
No, it's the Allen Iverson stuff.
You need the you need a lot of the zinc. You need a bunch of the zinky, and you'll still catch it. It doesn't matter how much. You're still gonna catch stuff. You
just gotta stick. I know the cure for everything.
Yeah,
I got it right here.
It's called crack.
Flintstone vitamins.
Oh yeah, right. Just guzzle a bottle of those
with iron. With iron.
That's great. I was going to make a joke about that. Like, didn't you give him a Flintstone vitamin before you sent him to school?
That's right. 1 million strong and growing.
Well, you gave him everything. I loaded them up, and I've got bottles of Pedialyte ready to go.
He'll probably kick its ass in a day or two then anyway.
Right. Wow. Now, so what else do we got? We really compared the ratings, right? I mean, we really kind of did. We got all the ratings out of the way, right?
Yeah, we went through all of that. AEW is booking a hair versus hair match between Matt Hardy and Orange Cassidy. Hair is pretty much the theme between the two, and Orange Cassidy keeps saying that this is pretty much going to happen. So it's likely to go down at Full Gear November 13th, unless they decide to do it at the Grand Slam show in New York at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Seems like they're saving it for Full Gear. Kenny Omega called out toxic people in the wrestling community
again,
and he's got to. He was on the PWI podcast and talking about being number one, all this stuff, and he basically just virtue signaled to the whole thing.
Ugh.
Regardless of who we represent or who we're working for, we're still like a family. And I have friends, not only in AEW, but I have friends in New Japan, I have friends in Impact, I have friends in WWE. I know it sounds crazy. Basically, he's trying to pass like I wish for world peace. Is what he literally says. I quote directly from his statement here.
Oh,
but it's very soapboxy of what he says. He's like, maybe there'll be a world, even just for one show, where we get talents that work together in a super show to show everyone the greatest talents of the world, where we do what we love. And, you know, I get the sentiment, but he sounds so ridiculous.
He sucks. Like, just
he must be on LSD.
I mean, dude, you're the fucking heel world champion.
And he's like,
Don't
I'm wishing for
that.
world peace, and I can't wait for a show where we can all work together. WWE and AEW alike.
And that is why Don Callis speaks for him usually.
Exactly. What a bitch move. And then Jeff Hardy, did you see him on Raw chasing the 24/7 title?
Oh, yeah.
You did,
dude.
It almost killed you.
I didn't see it because I don't know why I missed it, but the reason I know it happened is because Twitter exploded with people furious over it, and I literally wasn't. I just said, yeah, he sucks. I don't know. And people were pissed, and I wasn't, because I was just like, what? So
basically, he gave a very pro WWE answer. He's like, it's one of those things. I show up to work and do what they need me to do, and I move on. This is in the past, talking about 24/7.
Well, you don't care that much.
Monday's the future, and I'm super excited. They must be giving him so many drugs in the suitcase when he shows up. Then he just goes and paints his face on acid the whole time and just gets really fucked up on, you know, stuff backstage. They make sure to give him all like the brown boomers and the blue pills and the good stuff, the old stuff from the 70s you can't really get anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Let me get some of that. I'm going to feed that to Leah when she's
the old
sleeping.
Quaalude kind of good stuff. Once you, you know, you stay awake past the sleep period, then you're really fucked. That's Erection City. And that's what Jeff does. And that's why he gets to sleep with Stephanie over and over and over. And he doesn't care how they book him because he knows what he's going to do to her.
Right. He's
with
gonna,
the purple penis and
well,
all.
and you know, if Matt was there, he'd care. He'd be like getting mad. Like, this is bullshit. Jeff probably, man, I don't know. It's going to go to the bar. I don't know.
Now, big tease. Forget going to the bar. We're going to hell. You know why? After Finn Balor was beaten very clean last SmackDown.
By the way, Finn Balor, top 10 PWI. I think that's bullshit. Finn Balor has done nothing, in my opinion, this year. But
he worked really hard in NXT, though. So you didn't watch much NXT, though, with him, did you?
You're right, I guess. When did he come to NXT?
Right as the pandemic was pretty much in starting full swing.
What? I thought he came like 4 months ago.
No, it was a while back, and he won the NXT title right away, and then he defended it for months. And
oh yeah,
he was there for like a full year.
I guess I forgot. Like,
he had that Iron Man match. He had
maybe he does deserve to be on it, but I don't know.
Bunch of great title feuds, and then he lost it finally to Karrion Kross. Right?
I guess I'm just a dickhead. Like I
believe I mean, he did a lot in NXT, and then
you are right though.
This is the main roster and got screwed.
This last year and a half, I would say, I watched little NXT for the last
there
year
hasn't
and
been
a half.
much of a reason to watch it. I only kept up for pretty much out of nowhere. So
yep. It's been
now
nothing.
At the pay-per-view at Extreme Rules, we're getting Demon Finn Balor against Roman Reigns.
Demon Finn.
The Demon hasn't been beaten, so did they beat the Demon here? Or do they beat the unbeatable Roman Reigns? Or does this end in DQ, but it's an Extreme Rules match? How do they get out of this one? Does Brock interfere and take out everybody? Like, what happens here? How does this work out? But it is intriguing. I am excited to see what Balor does here, and if it is the true return of the Demon, as they're saying. We're also getting Becky Lynch against Bianca Belair in an actual match. Lashley against Orton. Okay. Orton's the WWE Raw champion with Riddle, so they don't have anybody else for Lashley to challenge, sadly. Let's take half of the Raw tag team champions now and do it. So bizarre. Damian Priest is defending against Sheamus because they can't move on to anything with Damian Priest ever. And then Charlotte Flair is defending her title against Alexa Bliss. I think Bliss is definitely going to take it there because they have been so impressed with her selling record numbers of those dolls. They sell out every time they're back in stock. So WWE is fully behind her and this gimmick change.
On Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, with her taking over as the Fiend ever since she changed.
I was like, wait a minute. I thought you were saying she changed gimmicks again. I was like, what the fuck?
No, ever since she changed into the Fiend character, you know, they're full behind her and everything she does because she's a merch selling machine.
Okay, I got you. All right, now I'm smelling your cock. So
yeah, baby.
Do you want to get into this SmackDown that's happening? I mean, we kind of did earlier a little bit, but not
a little bit.
This is
the only
weird.
Last thing I was going to bring up is that people are very unhappy in WWE with Mick Foley. They felt like there was no reason for him to say the things he said, and if he was unhappy, he should have come to people directly rather than air their dirty laundry online for likes and.
He's a fake. Mick Foley is a fake.
Andrew Zarian was saying that people are specifically unhappy with him in backstage, but I had heard it was more than that. That people are basically they have no respect for him because he could have come to them directly and said, "Why are you?" But like they would have listened to him.
Yep.
Now they view him as someone just seeking clout.
This is 100% like the type of people that attack me or former friends or co-hosts or whoever who they'll like rant about me for 30 minutes somewhere, or like somebody like Revere Man or somebody like that from the past who would get mad and rant about me somewhere, and then I'd be like, you didn't fucking tell me any of this.
Yeah, there's also plans when they do go ahead and do the next either Hell in a Cell or something Foley-esque that they're going to have Randy Orton or somebody else do a promo where they cut down Foley.
Listen,
that's the plan.
I love Foley. And
that's petty, but I see why they're doing it.
But here's the bottom line. Foley can say whatever he wants, so fuck them anyway. But Mick Foley is, and I'll tell you why he's a fake. He's a fake because it's very easy to look this up. Everybody who wants to do this, go spend your time doing this. I'm not really going to. But the fact of the matter is the timeline is this. Mick Foley was not working for WWE, and Daniel Bryan didn't enter the Rumble. Mick Foley broke his TV. It's still on YouTube right now. Mick Foley breaks his TV live on YouTube or video on YouTube because he's upset at WWE because they didn't put Daniel Bryan in the Rumble, which we all agreed with. We were mad too. But then when the WWE hired Mick Foley under his Legends contract and it's brought him on the show several times, he then began defending WWE like a maniac shill on Twitter. And he defended Roman Reigns and everything. He even yelled at us for fucking saying anything. And he would just defend WWE. Then his contract ended, and I believe he went to like TNA or something. He went somewhere for a little while and did something, or he was just on the indie scene, and he began kind of taking jabs at WWE. So all of a sudden Mick Foley is once again taking jabs at WWE. Now at the time I didn't really pick up on this. I was like, okay, like Foley's mad at WWE again. Look at he's back to hating them like we have always hated them, like hated what they've been doing. But then he got hired again, and they brought him in for angles, brought him on TV. I think he debuted the Universal title one of those times. And again, he began defending WWE on Twitter to people, right? Tweeting, attacking the fans, saying fans like this need to calm down and understand there's a process, or like this, that, and the other thing. And he was just shilling for the WWE left and right. So we've had Foley attacks a TV because he's mad at WWE, to Mick Foley telling other people they shouldn't get so mad about it, to then him angry again, to then him telling people they shouldn't get mad about it. Again, in around 2018-19. 2017, 18, 19, Foley defended WWE like crazy. So now over the past year, I think, he's not working with them directly anymore.
Yeah, the last we saw was he was attacked by Bray Wyatt, now appearing as The Fiend on Raw.
So
and that was 2019.
I'll tell you what this is. I'll tell you exactly what this is. AEW is getting all this press and attention. They're off to the moon. They're looking for talent, looking for stuff. So Mick Foley makes that video and makes all these virtue signaling things for AEW because he wants to go to AEW. He wants to get a contract working in AEW. That's what it is.
It seems that way. And I guess Booker T agreed. This is on Wrestling News Co. Booker T said on the Hall of Fame
real
podcast.
Quick, Mick Foley's not wrong. I agree with him, by the way. I'm just saying, I don't really trust him. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, exactly. And of course, Mick Foley's got a point, but it's how he's saying it and what he's saying it. And
I love Foley. I'll wash his feet. I'll wash his dick. I'll jerk him off, Jake. I love Foley. Foley, I will jerk you off and buy you dinner if I ever see you. I love Mick Foley. I'm just saying he's a New York guy.
He's not wrong about how they handled Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, and how they're dealing with AEW's pressure.
He's a New York guy.
Well,
he is a New York guy, and there's a reason.
No, you're right.
For the warning.
I mean, maybe he'll just be the same way. Let's say he was working in AEW after a while. Maybe he's just that person who has the same pattern of, like, kissing ass one minute and then critiquing the company the next.
But that is what he's
Or maybe
doing.
he-
And,
I would
and
think that, but
Booker
it's
T
not
brought
it.
attention to that, saying, "I agree with Mick Foley 100% here. We need to get our ass in gear. Bottom line, even if I don't always agree with Foley's, tactics. Basically, he's like, he's like, the reason why I say the Lucha Brothers may be the best tag team is because wherever these guys go, if you let them, they'll get over. But he says, they might be the best tag team in the world right now. That's how he feels fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically said it was critical and constructive criticism with what Mick Foley said.
No. I just left the stream by accident. What am I doing? I'm back. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
PW Mania did say that people are legitimately upset about Mick Foley.
I bet
It's
they
not
are.
It's the truth, and now they're viewing him as not only basically undesirable for things, but they're going to have people retaliate in some way, shape, or form. Not
Ooh.
like a physical beatdown, but they're going to cut him down in a promo.
Is Dewey
or-
still writing for the WWE?
That's a good question.
Because that's dangerous. The only thing, we would hear about that by now, right? That Dewey isn't there. Or I really think
I haven't.
Can I tell the
yeah.
other story? Real quick, not a story, very quickly though, about Mick Foley. Listen,
Absolutely.
I want to make this clear. I really love Mick Foley. He put his life on the line for us and entertained me. I met him. He's nice. I think I love him. But there's something businessy, sneaky that you don't understand about him that's weird. So a long time ago, the guy from Wrestle Crate created a Wrestle Crate with his little son, and they had a couple of crates out, and they reached out to Mick Foley, and they said, "Hey, Mick, we'd like you to be in the Wrestle Crate." And so, and they told Mick Foley, "Oh, we'd like to be," and they laid the whole thing on him. And Mick Foley said to the Wrestle Crate guys back in 2014, 13, whatever it was, and Mick Foley said to the Wrestle Crate guys, "Oh, yeah, maybe that sounds like maybe something I'd do. I don't know. I'll think about it." And then he never got back to them. And then they reached out again, and he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." Well, then literally about a month and a half later, Pro Wrestling Crate launches. And who does Pro Wrestling Crate launch with? Other than their business partner, Mick Foley. So Wrestle Crate, the very first ever Wrestling Crate box, launched by an independent guy and his son who had the idea and said there should be a Wrestle Crate with all these crates that are out. And the dad said, "That's a good idea, let's do it." And they did it, and it was phenomenal. It was crazy. But then Mick Foley was asked to join it, and he said no. Next thing you know, 2 months, 3 months later, after 4 Wrestling Crates or 5 Wrestle Crates, Pro Wrestling Crate launches from Pro Wrestling Tees, now at Pro Wrestling Tees, but before that, a partnership with the company and Mick Foley, who was the business partner to help launch the whole thing. Don't believe it, look it up on YouTube. So Mick Foley took the idea.
Yeah, but you don't even talk about the worst part usually, and I don't know how you forget this, but Wrestle Crate, the original ones, right?
Right.
They were getting autographs. Good big names.
Oh, right. Yeah, yep, I know what you're talking about.
Once Foley joined, he basically called upon his friends to do autographs only for him.
Right.
And if they went elsewhere,
Oh wow,
it wasn't gonna benefit them anymore.
That's some Vince McMahon shit.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, this is not.
That's
So it was
WWE
a
shit.
typical New York WWE move.
And Mick
there.
Foley's a New Yorker.
Wow.
I mean, dude, listen, sorry New Yorkers, but there's something up with New Yorkers with like money, and they'll stab you in the heart. They'll stab their mother for $1 out there.
And last I
don't know
see,
what it
Dewey
is.
Foley, as of the end of 2020, was still working there. So I believe he's still in creative.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Everything about his profiles and stuff shows him as active in WWE creative.
Now, I just can't believe he did it. I mean, I love Mick Foley. You know, it's like you love him, but he's got this.
Yeah, you're
It's
dooming your
weird.
son possibly.
Like,
unless
why? Yeah, you would think Mick Foley would have helped both people if he was gonna, if he was really who he
Right.
seems to be. Like
Right,
he would
but
just do it because it's the right?
Instead,
But
he worked a better deal. He was like, I'll go make my own
Yeah.
and make more. I'll just start my own one. And because I said that to Ed from Wrestle Crate, I said, dude, what happened? What's up with this company launching? And he goes, don't even get me started. I'm fucking furious. And I was like, why? And he was basically told me the whole thing. Like, I'm the one who told him about it. He didn't even know about any of this. I was like, I want you to be my box, and could you work with us? And he laid out this huge plan about it to him, and then he said no. And then 2 months later, he's doing it with somebody else. Like, it was like just like JD with the whole, hey, beer goons, JD, I got this idea. We'll go to the bars and we'll drink the alcohol there, and we'll do the podcast from the bar. And you know what I mean? 4 years later, JD's doing fucking cuntosaurs or whatever the fuck he's doing. Like my whole idea, like he's doing it with some other guy. Then he's like, "Oh, you never would have done it with me." Yeah, I never would have done it because you left. Like it's funny, but it's so New York, dude. It's oh my god, I love you,
dude. How did the guy and his kid how did they get this? Did they just have like wrestling shit that they
they were
in the crates or like?
Yeah, they were.
Well, they made friends, and then they got in with distributors like the T-shirt places.
Oh, all right.
And once Foley came out with his, they lost a lot of contacts. That was the problem.
Yeah,
and things got more expensive because they lost.
That is a really fucked up.
The little kid said to the dad, apparently he was like, "Dad, there should be a wrestling crate," and the dad was like, "That's a good idea." And the dad he went online and looked everywhere and was like, "There's no wrestling box." He goes, "Let's do this. You're a good idea." His little kid came up with the idea.
This is before WWE even had their Slam crate. Like almost a full year and a half before.
Well, you know,
they all copied it.
Foley walks like a fucking crab.
Well, here's the honest truth too, and like everything has been. They went ahead and they reached out directly to the show, and they were so cool that they even made a box just for Joe's son Gavin at the time.
Yep.
Like it was so cool for you guys to open something together.
But at the time, I didn't know this, but I was opening both Wrestle Crate and Pro Wrestling Crate were sending me free crates. I mean, I was happy.
And we
to
didn't know
open
the whole deal until a few months down the road when all this came to light, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Like it was awful.
Yeah.
And we even said at one point, unknowing what was going on, unbeknownst to us, like Wrestle Crate was kind of lowering a bit in quality, but they kind of had to up in price a bit because shipping was becoming more difficult, and they were kind of running a bit later, and it just didn't seem like their usual style. So we knew something was up. And then come to find out, they lost distributors, they lost connections, and then things were more expensive for them to get the bare basics, so they weren't getting DVDs at prices they were used to and stuff like that.
Right.
It was a lot, so terrible.
Yeah, it's just a funny backstory for the people that, don't know about it, maybe
they don't believe it.
That's funny to people, I suppose. And they, but it reminds me... It dead on reminds me of me pitching Beer Goons to JD, where I was like, "Yo, dude, we could drink beer in like a restaurant and go to locations, and then we could do the podcast there, and it could be like a theme, and we come up with this whole thing, and we'll shoot it like a video podcast in the bar. Well, the bar owners will love it. We'll promote the bar. We'll do all these things." And basically, I said this online. The video is still up, and then I basically had also said that First, we'll just start doing a podcast because, we don't, until we set up the travel and how we're going to do all that, we don't, whatever. So then he's like, yeah. And then he ended up leaving the show, not wanting to really work with me and all these things. But it's like, what was it, about a year ago? All of a sudden, I look on YouTube or on Twitter.
About 10 months.
10 months ago, and he launches fucking like, here it is. Doing the show. Oh my god, I was laughing my balls off. But if he was here, he'd be like, Joe, I know that, Joe, but the elegance, you didn't have the elegance and the connoisseur that I am for alcohol, and you don't understand. I'm like, yeah, the point was one person was into it, one guy was the jokester, or there was two guys and then three guys. But anyway, that's okay. Listen, but that's somewhat somewhere. It reminds me of like, because I pitched the idea. The whole idea of Beer Goons was, he had this thing, the Goons, and I was like, you like beer? And I like drinking beer. It'd be fun is to try different beers and alcohols and things like that. And what a great idea for a podcast, Beer Goons. That's a great idea. So it's just funny to me, like, but I don't think it's that bad. I think the Wrestle Crate story is worse. I think that's way worse. This is more like, hey, listen, we haven't worked together in a long time, and I like the idea of this. I could do that. That's not a big deal. But it is.
Oh no, yeah, it's way worse, dude. Because you and him are on the same level, kind of. Mick Foley taking it away from these people that are, not even on his level of what he can, his connections and whatnot.
That's
like,
why
it's such a more fucked up thing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the Mick Foley thing is worse to me. It's like way worse, way worse. Some little kid and a dad started it. So assuming that story is true and everything, which I believe, I think it is. I don't think that guy would lie to me. In a way, you hope that just fucking sucks, man. Like, what a weird.
In a way, you have to think that's the reason anybody in wrestling back then, but Mick Foley, all those guys, you had to be kind of ruthless.
These people
like as a human being.
Oh really? Yeah, dude.
Or as a businessman. Not even maybe a little as a human being, but definitely when it came to business, it was like, and that's what that was for him. It's fucked up that he had the guy laid it all out and went into this huge thing that he. And
we knew it too because there was
as well.
there were certain business practices that were going to happen soon, things that were upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, when that happened, we were like, oh, he's like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is what like the themes that were coming up that he had told Foley about is what they did with their crates upcoming. So
yeah,
that makes it even worse. It's one thing to just steal the idea and you.
Well, that was part of how he proved
even
it.
worse. Wow. that was
Yeah,
funny.
Because remember, you explained that, Joe, because that was how he proved it. Because he's like, we were like, what proof do you have? And he's like, here's the conversations, here's this, here's that, and then here's what we discussed what was going to happen, and that's basically the route they took for their box.
That is so fucking crazy, man. That type of stuff pisses me off. I don't know why, but it's like, yeah, that's typical of a, it's funny. A lot of people like, I love God and stuff like that. No, you don't. Like, come on, I'm Jesus. They're fake Christians.
God bless you.
The fakest of the fake religious Christian people. They're some of the worst people.
All Christians
they
fake?
fear God. That's the.
No, I'm sure there's a few good ones out there.
There's a lot of good ones, but
just the ones that I've always encountered personally.
The virtue signalers are the worst. They never mean shit bomb. They're just lying.
Never heard of bullfrog before, but once I did some research on some of the joke-prone in law, and I'm deeply disturbed, shocked, and entertained all at the same time. My overall opinion? Fuck bullfrog.
Fear equals pain. Thank you for the $5 and becoming a $5 shit bum. Yeah, it's okay. He's done. He's done for. You're done, boy. You're done, boy. I blocked him. He's already messaging me saying, I'll come back. This morning he said he's leaving.
Me to bring him on. I'm like, I can't bring you on. What do you expect?
You know what I did? The JB post though, where he wrote, "Am I really back, Daddy?" That was the
Bailey nailed that one out of the park, and he even screenshot it with the troll laugh attached to the tweet. I don't know how it gets more self-explanatory than that.
I love it. Is there? Hey, thank you for the sub, man. What's going on? By the way, dude, like. Thank you all for the subs, man. We've had like 300 subs this month on this channel, I think, or 400, and then Corrupted it had 200 subs this week from that Joe Biden video I put up that went viral-ish.
Oh wow! Yeah. We got a new member.
Oh, Jay Swift.
Yes.
What's up?
Oh, I'm hard. I'm so good. Oh my God, I'm hard for the new member.
Ooh. Okay, that. Keep it up, guys. Jay Swiss, thank you. Keep up the support, man, because everybody, I'm hoping to have some. We're having, one way or the other, we're having a couple of big returns for shows this next coming week or so. I'm in talks with several people. Somebody's going to be on board, and I'm in talks with several people to do Corrupted podcast. So that is good news, I guess. And
Joe and Jake are fat. I'm identified as skinny. It's just water weight. It's your fault. I am getting fat and I don't know why.
Oh.
Keemstar is just laughing at me when I'm speaking the truth. Bullfrog is fat and my husband. My husband looks like a
potato. Nikado Avocado?
Nikocado.
Oh. I don't know who that is.
You don't?
No.
It sounds familiar to me, though, that when you said it, Jake.
A UFC fight?
He was just on Keemstar's show. I didn't see that one yet.
Oh, I don't
but
keep
I
up.
saw the thumbnail.
I wouldn't know it from that.
I don't know these douchey kids.
But, well, he's a...
Yeah, I don't know.
He's been in the news recently because he breaks down, but that's basically like the copy pasta meme of this guy is that he's really overweight now. He used to be skinny, but he does these huge binge eating videos, like the mukbangs.
Yeah.
He goes out and eats like $100 worth of Taco Bell in one sitting. And he's like, I don't know why I'm fat. It's a medical mystery. It's a medical mystery because my doctors don't know and it's all water weight and they can't figure out why. He's serious though. He truly believes he doesn't know why he's fat. It's crazy, but
speaking of fat, no, I'm just kidding. No, speaking of connoisseurs, if you're I understand that apparently, JD's a connoisseur of alcohol, but could you possibly become a connoisseur of cinematography? Because what the fuck is this whitewashed shot? Like, this is so whitewashed.
Clearly he's never heard of the rule of thirds.
I just fixed it. Look, I just fixed it. See that? Dude, this is what it looks like. This is the original look right here. That's way too whitewashed. Who put the brightness up?
Who put the ghost in this fucking shot?
Look at this. Like, dude, this is
like they're trying to get the energy shot from like those curling whatever the fuck cameras.
It's so whitewashed. it needs. Look, if I add contrast right here, boom. I could even brighten it up. I could even add contrast, and look, it looks way better now.
No, you got it. It looks so much better. Oh my god.
That's not what it looks like.
That's
You go to it right
shit.
now, like that video. That's not what it looks like. Then
Is he like? Maybe it's him that does it. That would make sense. Like, but if he's paying someone to do that,
it
holy
might be
shit.
someone's a fucking goddamn critique of connoisseur, but is a fucking cuntosaur when it comes to the videography. The fuck?
He always had editing help though, so I wonder if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
That's editing, not help.
Oh no, he's
Whatever
better. It's
that
better
was.
now. In the next ones, he's better. They got better. It's okay. They figured it out.
Oh, okay. So they.
I'm just
yeah.
busting his balls
He
a
probably
little
called
bit.
him. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
I'm just busting his balls a little bit. I talked to him the other day. But yeah, I wish him luck with it. For seriously, I'm not. I'm just trying to fuck around a little bit. I got to get a little bit of my fucking crybaby off about it. Which I already did last year when it happened. But I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up to the end of the time at this point. So that's what's gonna happen. Deal with it. SummerSlam versus All Out. Yeah, give me some of that. Let's find out what he's going to say here.
Hello, I have 3 topics.
Okay.
One is, have you been watching Bucks vs. Cowboys? It is
Yes.
really good. Also, looking back at your previous wrestling PPV ratings, you gave NXT TakeOver Brooklyn a 9 out of 10 and TakeOver Dallas a 9.5.
Damn.
How do you
Damn, did I really? Holy fuck, that's a high score. I mean, I would say nowadays I'd probably give Brooklyn an 8. That's probably like what I'd give it. But let's go. Let's jump into that. Okay, how do you compare All Out to SummerSlam? Well, I mean, if you watch the reviews, we did that, but I think I gave. What did we give SummerSlam? Like it was bad, right? Wasn't SummerSlam bad?
SummerSlam had some decent moments, but overall, like the John Cena match was good, but the Goldberg match sucked.
Yeah.
I don't
You're
remember.
right, Jake. Sorry.
Like for every no, you're right, Jesse. Every one good was like 6 bad. So
I feel like we
no,
gave
it was a fucked up
SummerSlam.
night. It was like watching a Raw, but they had that amazing 50,000 crowd, people in the crowd.
yeah, the crowd
And
was
it's
cool to
like-
see.
That was probably the best part about it, was that they had that huge crowd. It was nice to see, but the fucking show didn't show that. Like WrestleMania, granted, the first night was probably better than the second as a whole. It felt like fucking WrestleMania. This should have felt like SummerSlam.
It
and
lacked
didn't.
pyro because of the venue, but still they
Oh
needed
god,
pyro. Edge having the Brood entrance was awesome, but him and Rollins was probably the best match of the night. I hated the triple threat of the
agree.
women. Drew and Jinder was boring, but it was less than 5 minutes. Becky beat Bianca in like 20 seconds.
I'm remembering it all now because you're
Yeah, the
mentioning it.
Usos beat Ray and Dominic to
Wasn't good.
retain. Damian Priest beat
Was it
Sheamus.
Yeah,
That was okay. That was, and then Alexa and Eva Marie didn't really have a match. Remember, that was kind of like the back and forth
Eva
bullshit.
Marie.
And then it opened with RK Bro beating AJ and Omos for the titles.
I want to
That
say
was
we
And
gave
it was a
really
really
over.
short match.
That
It was
should've
like
been
7
longer.
minutes long.
Yeah, it should have been longer because like those motherfuckers were over.
Didn't we
That
give
was
it
That's
a
where
crazy.
All Out was probably one of the best pay-per-views I've seen since probably TakeOver Dallas. Joe,
give it-
TakeOver
No,
Dallas had American Alpha against the Revival.
That was
That
amazing.
was one of the best tag matches. Austin Aries against Baron Corbin. That was great. Nakamura and Sami Zayn. That was one of my favorites of all time.
Yep.
Asuka against Bayley was phenomenal. And then Finn Balor and Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, we got busted open.
Yep. So amazing night. One of my like, this is wrestling, check this out nights, especially
Yeah.
with the Nakamura match.
That was
I
my
watched that on
favorite.
a couple different podcasts actually with people to talk about it.
I think it was my favorite Finn Balor match that he ever had.
Yeah,
and part of
so-
it was because of Joe bleeding.
And then Brooklyn had its, the Sasha Banks Bayley and stuff like that. So
Wait,
Wow, man, I
dude,
got
I hate to fucking.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, it's something we were talking about earlier. I want to jump into it because I have fucking Dynamite on in the background, and I'm doing it through the TNT thing. So every time I watch, I have to go through fucking 5 sets of about 3 minutes of commercials, like 15 to 20 minutes of commercials.
Where are you
There's
watching
no
this?
picture-in-picture. The TNT app,
Oh, the app.
and like, yeah, and I'm like, so I'm missing shit. Like they don't fucking. And then you guys said the picture-in-picture's not even that great. Like they're showing shit that you can't see. So like,
yeah, it's hard to see.
I don't know.
And it's hard to see some of the other things, but honestly, it is better than.
I can't believe they cut
just
it all out
seeing
though.
nothing.
So basically, I'm missing. I'm missing 18 minutes of fucking show then, right?
Yeah, pretty much,
The way that
because
they do-
all but one commercial break is usually
Wow.
picture-in-picture.
Man, that blows. That's weird because if you don't have DirecTV, like if you don't have satellite or you don't have cable, and you're watching it any other way, like you don't
You're
get the
better off
picture-in-picture, I guess.
finding a stream. Honestly.
That's what I'm thinking of doing because I'm tired of. I know I'm missing shit. And
Right.
It's just I don't
I mean,
like
it's
the way
nothing
they, it
major, but
reminds
you
me
are
of-
missing what's going on. Like even Sammy Guevara holding up, all the cue cards in the commercial break. It's funny. It's not something like, oh, I have to see this, but it is entertaining, and it is something I'm happy I saw. So you probably would have gotten a kick out of it, like me.
Well, it reminds me of why I didn't like WCW. One of the reasons, and then I also didn't like when WWE had to do that. Do you remember after they bought WCW, like within the next year or two? They were doing fucking mid-match commercials. They never used to do that.
Oh yeah, which was ridiculous.
I mean, I hate that's always to me never worked for wrestling where you're gonna cut in the middle of a match.
And you know why that
3 to
was?
4
Because they
minutes.
acquired too much talent, so they had bigger
Yeah,
bills. to
and
pay.
they had too much. Yeah, no, I know why. It just sucks.
But then they
Because
didn't
I
pay
think
out for the
WWE
big contracts until they didn't essentially need them anymore after the invasion was over.
Yeah,
when they
right.
brought in
You're
the
right, that's when they
NWO
coulda
and
used them.
Flair and everybody all all at once, and it's like Steiner, Goldberg. They should have
I do
just
notice
paid
that
off the
AEW does,
TNT contracts or TNT contracts.
Oh, yeah.
and had
I
them
agree with
all
that.
debut for the invasion pay-per-view. Like they need
the
that
invasion,
whole
yep.
the whole angle, not just the pay-per-view, but they needed that desperately. Because going back and rewatching it with like Alvarez and people, you can see where they tried with what they had, but it was never going to work. They had to keep sending the WWE guys over, and it never made sense. But without Austin deflecting and a few others, they had no one over there that was credible that would basically be believable to beat up WWE guys. If Austin wasn't a heel then and on their side, then who did they have that would Booker T? He was probably their other top guy, but he wasn't enough to beat everybody. He could barely beat The Rock. Never mind Rock, Jericho, Kane, Undertaker. They just didn't have enough guys because they didn't pay the rest of the contracts. But if it was all Hogan, Nash, Hall, Goldberg, Sting, if they got all of them versus, the top of WWE, that's what everybody wanted. That would have been amazing.
I mean, you're right. It was. I mean, I know they were trying to make the Austin heel thing work, but I don't think they would have used him as the leader of the invasion or whatever it was if they had all those other guys. You know what I mean? They could have brought him back as face pretty quickly.
They had to
and
do
he would've
something
been running the
crazy
WWE side.
to make that side make a care. But then it didn't feel like WCW at all because of Austin.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't, the Hollywood blonde. He wasn't going ahead and doing anything of that nature. He was just, hey, I'm evil Stone Cold, and I'm over here because.
It was
but
weird.
he was already working with Vince as a heel.
Austin
like,
appreciation.
had he not
That was
turned
good.
heel yet, and then they came in and turned heel just to screw Vince over, I guess maybe it would have worked better. But he was already
Jake, that
heel.
could have actually.
Yeah,
that would have been better. Actually, I feel like that. Even though we would have hated it,
Instead
still,
of
that
doing
would've
it at
still been better
Mania.
because it would have made sense.
Yeah,
Yes,
with,
that would have
him
made
just
sense.
deflecting. Eventually,
you
he was
know?
already working with Vince, so it was very odd.
Yeah, that is. Fucking Jake, that's a great fucking point. Holy shit,
Guys,
that would have been maybe a lot better.
Suzuki
For Stone Cold.
Suzuki has commented. Have you seen this?
I have not.
He's
yet.
pissed. Oh, look at
The
this.
motorcycle brand?
No. Suzuki on AEW. I was supposed to make a spectacular first appearance on AEW, but they didn't have time for the live broadcast. And they cut off that whatever that movie does that's crazy.
Yeah, the Kazi and Nake.
There you go. In the middle of the song. I cut
Kazi and Ninare. I forget how you say it.
Yeah, he does a whole 30 seconds of a thing that the crowd's involved with, and they cut away from it.
Yeah, because the crowd did it with it,
up.
and then all of a
Those are
sudden,
I cut
he said the top of my eyelid.
cut the
got
top of
7
my eyelid.
stitches.
Yes, I don't know So like that I mean that looks stupid then. So it's
that
like
sounds like they ran out of time and he was injured, so they didn't get to do everything. So it was like dual fold.
Which was like everything I said the other night because
Yeah.
I was like, they like didn't have the time for this. They just rushed through a bunch of nothing.
No, you're
And
right.
then-
I'm watching it now, and it's kind of what they did. Like, and it sucks for that guy because even if you had to cut some of it because of the injury, you damn sure better show where the crowd is with him and it's over, because that's gonna carry into the next weeks. Like, you need that stuff. I wouldn't have cut that shit out. You just need 30, 45 seconds of that. I mean,
I'm just mad that it's like they cut it short, but then it, like we said, it's like, why did Moxley spend 3 minutes running around the crowd? Then it was like,
was this a longer show, by the way? Because I know when
No.
I'm watching it now, it looks like, okay, because its runtime on here on the TNT app is like 134 minutes. I'm sorry, an hour and 34 minutes. It's not usually that long, I feel like.
And the best
they
thing
got
on
like an
Twitter,
extra 15 or something.
that is
Um,
weird.
Go ahead.
Jesse, the best thing on Twitter was Emi Sakura. She goes up to him and she's like, you know, Mr. Suzuki, how is Moxley? And he looks at her and he's like, you're annoying. Go away.
What?
Now they're speaking their language, but when they translated it, he told her, you're annoying. Go away.
Like,
so he did. Oh,
as a
that's
joke
great.
or something?
No, dead serious, just not
That sounds
playing.
like a shoot.
He looked at her and said, you annoying.
pissed.
Go away.
Wow. Well,
That
she,
goes with the Twitter post or whatever it was you just showed. That sounds about right.
Yeah, there's video of it. She runs up, she starts
Awesome.
asking them in you know whatever language she's speaking. Either I'm pretty sure it's Japanese.
Dude.
And
look
she's
at
asking him over and
Komen's son
over.
looks like fucking
and
Theo
he-
Vaughn. Oh my god.
He looks at her and he's like, "You annoying, go away," and he walks away.
well, she is.
Oh yeah,
Hilarious.
dude. I can never see him as Pillman again. He looks like Theo fucking Vaughn.
But he
Oh my
did
God.
truly get 7 stitches.
Oh.
Yeah, he got
No,
cut
I would have been
open.
more pissed that they missed the crowd shit, because that's where it shows that you have something.
Yeah, I would have
You
been.
know?
We got a new member. Yes. Oh, I'm hard. I'm so good. Oh my god, I'm hard for the new member.
Dude. Okay, we're talking about 15 months in a row for Terror Schism 999 as a member. Thank you. Holy shit, 15 months. Don't forget to sub to the Twitch. If you got Amazon Prime, it's free. But yeah, 15 months is pretty crazy, man. Terror Schism, thank you so much. I got one more coming in. Donations, get them in now. Show's, coming to a climax here. Get them in now if you care to say something or support the show or do whatever. Do it now.
You become
Do now.
a shit bomb.
Okay, Juan G with the $2, man. He didn't say anything. He just dropped the dono. I was like, what's he gonna say? He fucking scared me. Shout out to Juan G, baby, for the $2 super chat party. And that's really about it, man. Anything else, Jake, that you had to go over? I'm trying to think if I forgot something. I swear.
No, that was all of it. That I was, you mentioned it. Suzuki got 7 stitches, and we talked about Punk. We talked about
Adam Cole renews about the manager stuff again, how goofy that is. Well, I mean, actually, there was one thing about that was, what the fuck did I was talking to someone. Oh my god, I got to think of it. He brought up a funny thing. Like, basically, that's the absolute state of Vince McMahon right now. He thought Adam Cole was going to be the fucking manager of Keith Lee. I mean, that's how fucked up Vince is at this point.
Yeah, no kidding. How infuriating all this
He
is.
sees every little guy now, and all because earlier, like I said, he thought, 205 Live and all these things kind of failed or whatever. So Vince is like, that's it. I'm done with this shit. So that's it. He really is done with it.
Yeah.
He didn't want to use Adam Cole at all. I don't know. Like I said, what was he going to be, Harvey Whippleman?
What about people like Morrison?
Morrison's bigger.
No, that's true, but he's like still one of the, he's like a 205 type of,
I think it's Morrison's
performer.
Morrison's ability. Like, Morrison's interesting because he has an ability to be this badass, real hero wrestler guy outside the WWE or this character, but he also has the ability to be this really goofy comic relief guy that the WWE likes. So he can.
So that's where, I got you. His personality is enough for them to look past all the other shit.
Yeah, but he's also
that they
bigger.
might- yeah.
He's also a lot bigger. John Morrison, like, I don't know, what's his size? Like, let's look him up. Yeah, he's 6.
He just looks short.
He's
but
6 feet tall.
He's stocky.
He's
okay.
He's 220 pounds and 6 feet tall.
What's my name? Duncachino. It's a whole new game.
Adam Cole is smaller, is my height.
I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
190.
Can you unblock me please on YouTube please?
1G, what's up? Why is he blocked? What do you mean?
That's weird.
I couldn't tell you. I've been staying the hell out of it.
But he's super chatting, so how is he? He's not blocked.
Yeah. Well, then wait. That's a good. Well, maybe you can still super chat. I mean, that's a whole different thing than just.
And
wait. Does that mean he hasn't? Do you have the subscriber mode on or something?
No, he just super chatted that, and I see him in the chat right now. Unless he's talking about his old account. I remember, wasn't he one of the ones that we had he had the glitch? Because I went to his channel a long time ago.
Dude, so remember so I know somebody last week, like in the middle of the show, it might have been Monetize This or something, and they were trying to get. I told them make a new account, and it would fix it because they couldn't fucking chat, they couldn't donate, they couldn't do anything.
The only way to fix it, I found the problem. You know? The only way to fix it is for me to go back on old live streams, and
oh my goodness,
find when they were blocked. And if I can find the exact moment where they were blocked, then I can unblock them. But if I if I go to their channel to unblock them, it doesn't work. It's a glitch.
Shit.
Yeah, it has to be like a then and there.
It's a glitch, and YouTube doesn't care.
Well, no, YouTube's fucked up because for like mods, it only lets us hide them, which I guess is like blocking them, but it doesn't give us a block feature you know what I mean? So it's like that they fucked that up.
That's so stupid.
That's not a glitch. It's just bad fucking writing of codes and just bad shit.
Yeah, they fucked up and they don't care. That's what it is. They fucked up and they don't care.
Make a new account, whoever that was. It's probably going to be simpler than going through the other shit.
Well, he doesn't need it because he just he should be okay.
Well, then he's good. He's good.
Yeah, you can't super chat if you're blocked.
Okay.
So
I mean, I never thought.
Unless
of that,
he's talking about his old account,
sense.
Which he's 1G's been here a while. So I mean, I don't know. But
you're gonna have to give us more than just unblock me. You got to give us the name.
Speaking of giving us something, take a look at Thunder Rosa. Holy shit.
All right.
Shout out to WWE legal department again, man, for making it wet. But that's about it, man. I had fun tonight. Jesse, I hope you have a hard one. I hope we all have fun tomorrow night. I'll monetize this. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night being lit and getting weird on Friday. Let's get weird.
I did forget to mention Media One's right. Booker T did say that Adam Cole should go to New Japan. And of course he's saying that because he's still with WWE, so he doesn't want them going to AEW, which is direct competition. That's all that comes down to.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, Booker T's
that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, Booker T's on the payroll.
No, you're right about that, but at the same time, I've heard some stuff from wrestlers and interviews where I feel like some of them would be in New Japan right now because WWE's the way it is if AEW wasn't around. So since AEW's around, they're like, okay, maybe I'll try over here, see if there's...
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of cool. But yeah, Booker T's a business. It's weird. He fucking tells it like it is, but then he also goes really corporate. It's weird with him too.
Trouble, 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 trouble.
Oh, okay. No.
All my life. That fucking, I love that theme. I don't care, EC3, if you're out there listening. I love that theme. Trouble, 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 trouble.
It still cracks me up.
That one?
Remember the Gerber
Holy
baby?
Holy shit.
Tabber,
yeah,
tabber, tabber, tabber.
Classic.
Tabber, 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 tabber. Now if we did that, we'd be off YouTube.
Oh.
You know it. By the way, this is his cover song, Zombie 13. Check him out on YouTube, man. He's got a fire CM Punk cover and a bunch of wrestling covers, and I did a little podcast with him earlier. That's why we were late, actually. Go check out his channel. He's got 11,000 subs. I used a lot of his songs once in a while here or there, and boom, he does some super kick party. And that video will be up later. Keep it wet, baby. Hit that like button down below. And make sure you guys check out my podcast I put up on Patreon earlier today. And the state of Corrupted podcast will be known hopefully within the next few days, if not week. See who signs the contract. Going to find out. But jump on Patreon and support it if you can. It will help me in the negotiations. Peace out, crackers. See you tomorrow night at 11 p.m. or so, maybe earlier, for Monetize This. I'm gonna send you my balls, Jesse. Oh, we're still in the air.
All right.
It's okay. I'm gonna jump off Discord though. I'll talk to you on. I'll text you.
All right, brother.
Come and check
Sounds
on
good.
I'm gonna check on the kid. I'm worried about him. All right, I'll be back. Mwah.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm still live because the button is broken or stuck or something like that. I don't know what's going on. Thank you guys. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show if you guys want to support the shows and hear my podcast from earlier today where I answered all the questions you guys gave to me in a little bit of fucking naughty time on Patreon uploaded right now. It's available. Bye.